Guys, what is going on? Happy Monday. Here we are, guys. Here we are. Guys, we have a special guest today, to help you guys make your Monday. Now, guys, Monday is always that one day of the week that's always harder than it has to be. And it's usually people that are the problem. Everything's fine until you add people, people in traffic, that one idiot at work who doesn't know how to do their damn job. You know what I'm saying? But my Monday's actually been pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? You guys, today we have a special guest. Guys, we have Sean from Financial Frontier USA. He's decided to bless us with his time, guys. I'm going to ask you guys multiple times throughout the live stream to actually go over and check out his channel, guys, and drop him a sub. You know what I'm saying? He's a cool guy. We've been talking offline. So one of the mods, if you guys can go to his channel and drop his link in the chat. But Sean, man, how you doing, man?
Yeah, just glad to be here. Shout outs to the family. What's going on, Jay?
Good to see you, man. Keyshawn, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Rajai down in Georgia, near Atlanta, my friend. I don't know how you do it, but hey, you're all good. Steve, what's going on, my friend? It's good to see you as usual. Good to see you.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Yorgi, Greece is in the house. Greece, man, what's going on, Yorgi? It's good to see you as usual, holding it down.
This is where we hold them. This is where we fight. This is where they die. And these Shields boys.
Secret, what's up, dude? Secret, how you been, man? Good to see you. He's our other money guy over here, man. You know what I'm saying? Secret, how you doing?
We're out here building a new nation for black people. It's time for you to start paying some dues, nigga. I ain't giving you shit.
Let me see, who else do we have here? Yeah, guys, make sure to hit the like button on the way in, please. You know what I'm saying? And guys, once again, guys, we're trying to build a coalition of the newer Redpill guys. Guys, there's a new crop of guys coming up. You got Sean, you got Secret, myself. You know what I'm saying? And guys, and Sean, let me have you chime in on this, right? This old guard of the pickup artists and the crypto bros and the old school Red Pill guys, those guys they're out of here. You know what I'm saying? They're all done. Fresh and Funky and all those guys. Sorry, they're just done. You know what I'm saying? Now we got a new crop of guys where all the new guys coming into the Red Pill space, they aren't stupid, right? You know what I'm saying? They can see through the BS. So if they like channels like ours where we're authentic, we like the exchange of ideas, you know what I'm saying? Where we kind of joke around a lot about serious topics, but it's more about getting the message out there, discussing ideas and sharing information. Sean, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, you're always going to have a rotation of, people coming in and out. I'm not too much of a beefer, so I'm real diplomatic on my forefront because I don't know any of these people personally. But what I would say is definitely that there's going to be a new wave of people in and out of any genre, but especially the space here and there. So shout out to everybody just coming out.
Yeah, I think that that's one thing that I said is, guys, one of the worst things that you can do is beef on the internet, right? And I remember Anton Daniels back in the day when Kevin Samuels came on to Lapeef. He asked Kevin, he's like, your name is in everyone's mouth. How do you just not beef? And he said that I just don't pay attention to it all. And guys, one thing that you should never ever do as a content creator is beef with anyone else. I just think that as far as what people expect out of the space is more authenticity, right? And more guys that are like, I think the difference between us Red Pill guys for the most part and then other parts of the internet is, so when I argue the case for men, I always argue for the average men, right? The average $50,000, $60,000 a year guy. Now, women will be like, oh, well, we're all making money and we're all 9s and 10s. So they're always arguing like they're somehow Holly Berry, who's making millions of dollars in Hollywood when they're just some chick on Fry's Chick-fil-A. You know what I'm saying? So our standard here is the average guy, and their standard is the who they perceive to be the top. You know what I'm saying? So they can't even really have a realistic view of how things are because they're putting themselves in these unrealistic kind of bubbles. You know what I'm saying? Whereas us, look, we're all a group of guys. We drive trucks. We, you know what I'm saying? We're plumbers. We're professionals. All of us, but we're just regular smegular dudes. So, before we break the news, Sean, what do you think of the current state of the red pill right now? Like as a whole, I know that's a very, 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 very broad question, but like, what do you think of the current state of where things are at in this space?
Well, I always say, like, with anything, like you could say a movement or you could say a mission or a purpose, you got people that come in and go out. So as people come in, more people go out. Some people, leave. Some people do this and that. So overall, I think when you look at the catalog, it's just more content, more information, more perspectives, and more angles. I mean, we got, what is it? Red, blue, gold pill.
Yeah.
After pills. So it's just an increase of more information. And I say all defined is the best. I think women tend to dominate men in communication, meaning they make up a bunch of jargon and they identify all these things like toxic masculinity, misandry.
Yeah.
And they have an extensive list that people are aware of. They're like, oh, I know what that is. But if you say misandry, people are like, what's that?
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, it's important for us to get our message out there. In any shape, form, or fashion, it's coming.
I also have got in trouble for saying, look, guys, I don't care who says how our talking points get out there. Okay. And honestly, guys, as long as our talking points get out there, and the more people saying it, it's going to make it more mainstream. Right. So people want to gatekeep the talking. Guys, we can't gatekeep the talking points. We just can't. Right now, I don't care who. People go, oh, well, this person's a grifter and this person's this or this person's that. Guys, if they can get a large platform to get our talking points and our view of the facts, data, and statistics out there, right? I don't see an issue with it. We can't be what the left is, where they're so tribalistic and they have these arbitrary virtue tests. You know what I'm saying? Like, to say, well, oh man, financial, he ain't real, Sean ain't real, I'm real. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not going to work for us. It just doesn't work. And that's why you look at the left, I'm not trying to throw in politics now, but why is the left in such shambles, right? Because they're always trying to virtue test each other, always. And it actually creates this crazy tribalism that your opponent can pounce on. And that's one thing that is kind of leading the charge on. So, but hey, Sean, you want to break some news?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, heck yeah.
I love that. Every single time I see it, it makes me laugh. All right, here we go, guys.
A study shows that
now, Sean, you're a finance guy, so I want you to let me know if any of this foolishness that we're going to cover in these news stories, if it's surprising to you as a guy who knows a little bit about money. You know what I'm saying? So here we go.
Yeah.
a new study shows that Americans approach their golden years. Only half of U.S. households have enough savings for retirement, with just 31% of those folks polled having at least $100,000 tucked away. Christian Garzone spoke with a financial expert with Brighton Securities and joins us now with more. Christian.
Teresa, it seems many Americans are set to rely on Social Security, which is about $22,000 per year. Financial expert Ethan Wade said that's just not enough, but there are some tried and true methods to ensure.
Now, guys, in the chat, what percentage of the households that have no money for retirement are female-led households, right? We've covered this once before. Guys, they have all these studies that show that the majority of women, by the time that they're near retirement age, have no money for retirement at all. Cooked. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Sure, when you retire, you've got a security net. Ethan Wade with Brighton Securities says folks not having enough for retirement is nothing new, and it's not a reflection of the current economy.
Savings being a challenge for Americans as we get closer to retirement has been an issue for decades.
Wade says President Franklin Roosevelt created Social Security in the 1930s, hoping that Americans wouldn't fall into hard times in their golden years. Social Security, though, should be a complement rather than a full reliance, he says.
President Roosevelt created it so that Americans could live slightly above the poverty line.
What Social Security pays out can't be counted on to carry you through.
The best way to save, if you're currently employed, is through your employer's retirement plan.
And if you're lucky enough to max out your contributions, you can look at investment accounts as another option. About 40% of households have $100,000 in assets, but that means different things for everyone.
Your home is an asset. Your checking account is an asset. Your retirement.
Look at this dude's eyebrows. But
Look at his kid.
He gets his eyebrows plucked. Yeah, that's a little bit zesty right there. You know what I mean?
An account is an asset for you.
But the best thing you can do in your working years, Wade says it's simple.
Is spend within your means. Live within your budget and don't spend as much as you're able to bring in.
Wade leaves us all with this additional advice, young or old, no doubt something he's passing on to his son here, Griffin.
There's a saying that the best time to have planted a tree was 20 years ago, and the next best time is today.
That means...
Sean, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I mean, he spoke facts. I didn't see nothing wrong with it, but I'm not surprised. Most people are like that. Now, most people are going to blame some external,
Yes.
but that's what I spend most of my time on the show is just like, man, it's all you. It's all within your control. And
Yeah.
so at the end of the day, you just got to learn. You just got to Google it. That's how easy it is today. I don't know about when he passed Social Security. I don't like to talk about that at all. I like to talk about what the hell it is I could do today. And so once I did that, I changed my life. Go ahead.
I think it's funny though that like I've covered how we have Gen Alpha and younger Gen Z graduating from high school not able to read, not even able to read. It's like we have more information at our fingertips with these phones than in the history of mankind. We have the summation of mankind's knowledge on like at our fingertips, and people don't read and they don't educate themselves. And a lot of it is that people don't feel like they have to, or even then like public schools and other things are not requiring them to learn. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I hear that. Yeah, I mean, oh, good. I know people often be like blaming the school and shit, and I'd be like, I don't do that, because at the end of the day, it's like it's desire, and I did this for a long time of why people don't get it. And you do what you desire to do. That's it.
Yeah.
Like nobody taught you how to get girls, but people were out there trying to figure it out because they were trying to get some sex.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, if you want to get yourself anywhere, you got to have the desire. If you don't, then you won't do it. You don't even need to know the information. I didn't need nobody to come along and tell me about CDs or ETFs or mutual funds. I had the desire not to be broke like my single goddamn mom. And so at the end of the day, I made it happen.
Dante, how you doing? Julius, how you doing? Julia, how you doing, my friend? And now here we go, guys.
New numbers coming into our newsroom, and they show that young women are not saving enough money for retirement. In some cases, they're actually passing up free money.
Look at
What's
that.
behind this? I went to the South Bay today.
Free money.
67% of millennial women are not paying into a 401k. There you go. Right? There you go. And guys, put a 1 if you agree. The only reason why women are so lackadaisical about spending, about investing, and saving is ultimately they expect one of us guys to swoop in and pay the bills.
Here I come to save the day.
Don't pay their bills, guys. That's the worst thing you can do. The worst thing that you can do is, what is it, Sean, the grasshopper and the ant or whatever, where the ants saving up for the winter time, the grasshoppers being lazy and making fun of him, and then the winter comes and the grasshoppers outside starving and freezing to death while the ants inside the tree eating good. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You
Or the
can't
scorpion
be
and the frog.
Yeah. You can't be the guy who's made it to your 20s and 30s, scrimping, saving, no student loans, just to let an agent of chaos that's done the exact opposite into your life. What a joke.
Very interesting.
A lot of people don't save.
Mom and daughter taking in the sights in Imperial Beach, but they're in for a rude awakening.
Wow, I believe it.
That was Leah Fike's reaction when I told her 67% of millennial women are not currently contributing to a 401k, according to a recent study from creditcards.com.
If you do 4% and they match it, why wouldn't you do that? It's free money.
But a lot of young women told us retirement, like the end of this pier, seems a long way off.
There you go.
These three women looking out at the ocean told me they're not.
You know what's crazy, Sean? Sean, you're a international man of mystery, right? Isn't it crazy when you travel and you see, and then you go outside the U.S., you see how thin women are? You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah.
Right? And then you come back to the United States and you're like, everywhere you look, it's kind of shocking, isn't it? You go to Thailand, Colombia,
and they're fat bullies.
Yes,
they're fat bullies.
Yes,
they think like they can beat people up because they're fat. It's almost like it's crazy. It's like you're fat.
Yeah. It's culture shock. You go to Brazil, you go to Belize, you don't see big women. But you get off the plane anywhere in the U.S., man.
Looking ahead toward retirement.
What do you think that is? I think day-to-day life costs too much.
And that's certainly true in San Diego County, where the cost of living is sky high.
Enjoy.
As a helicopter flew overhead, Leah told us her son is a Navy air traffic controller. He's also a millennial. She's been talking to him about saving for retirement.
You've been talking to your daughter, though, about this.
Not yet. But soon she will. Daughter Leanne is 15.
I think those are pigeons, aren't they?
Leah thinks people of all ages tend to be clueless about money. They don't realize saving even a little now pays off big later.
If that money went into a fund, it would be different, but we don't budget like that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. Mom and daughter about to have that money talk, by the way.
Cooked. Absolutely cooked. And guys, how many videos have I covered on student loans, high interest car loans, credit card debt, bastard kids, right? Like, this isn't going to get much better. It's not. That's why you see, MGTOW and other things are taking off more and more. We're just, men are not engaging. It's the expectation of us men putting our needs and wants behind everyone else's, that we're actually just supposed to pack mule, So I have a couple questions for you here, Sean. And Sean, if you want to just plug your a channel really fast and kind of give everyone what a description of your channel is while I pull this up here. So.
Okay. So shout outs to everybody, man. Most of my channel is just about financial literacy. I just do it in an entertaining, no BS way. So if you come there and you soft, sensitive, it ain't the place for you at all, because I don't put no blame on the externals. You won't see me blaming no J's, no nothing, no Illuminati, New World Order. So it's all just about you taking accountability, taking charge. So only those who want to build on their future and want to change their lives come to the channel and listen. But most of the time, I'm just talking about my portfolio, investments I made, of course, the entire retirement plan. And I retired at 32.
Nice.
And so that was about 6 years ago. So I've been doing good as far as geniuses go, as Kanye West said.
Nice. So a couple questions for you. And I think that I asked you, like, the first one here, let me pull this up, is, the current state of the red pill as far as, like, on the internet, that Manosphere documentary thing that was on Netflix. How do you feel about the whole thing? About, like the actual cultural zeitgeist of the red pill?
Well, they're going to do what they got to do. Again, I spent many years in the military, And then, of course, I was on the front lines in places like Iraq. And then I also did clandestine operations. So I'm familiar with soft and hard power. And, of course, controlling your own narrative and getting a power position in a culture or in a nation is essential. So I think it's just about, people controlling the message for their own basic interests. And so the general society wants people to be, quote unquote, what they say, in the matrix. And then you got controlled resistance, which is ninjas who think they outside the matrix, but they're in a controlled system to make sure they don't go too far off the reservation. And so whether you're looking at that document or that documentary, that's called controlled resistance. They want to be a part of the resistance and then control the narrative still. And then be able to actually say, hey, mainstream, this is what this manosphere or RP is, but this is what it means.
Yeah.
And so they're just attempting to control the narrative. Rightfully so. It's up to the manosphere and the LRP to control theirs. And you fight in the battlefield.
You had made a good point earlier that men are not as good at communicating as women, meaning I take that as a lot of men are just too busy working to be on the internet crying like women do, right? So like, not only is there a conscious and unconscious bias against men airing out our grievances, right? We all know no one cares, right? We care about each other, obviously, but women don't care. It just doesn't work. Oh, I want to hear his problems. No, you don't, right? But also, a lot of men, especially productive men that are working 60, 70 hours a week, you know what I'm saying? Guys who are like you were out on the front lines fighting wars. You guys can't set up your phone and do a TikTok in the middle of a firefight. You know what I'm saying? But these women are at these air-conditioned jobs, right? Setting up their TikToks, doing this goofy stuff, right? And that becomes the crux of what the narrative is, right? Are the people who are living life on easy mode and able to make so much content, put such a message out there through sheer volume that they control the narrative, no.
I think that contributes to it also. But also there are great men like Elon. I mean, nobody works harder than that man. And then he's still out on the front lines in the forefront when it comes to a lot of the information and taking big risks to save normies. So at the end of the day, I think that there's time to be found, but you do make some great points, but they are women. I mean, can they beat you really? Like, cut it out.
Yeah, well,
I mean, if you're a destined man like that.
Well, I say that the issue is that there's a small group of men who use women and government to redistribute wealth from the rest of us men to themselves. Right?
I don't even think it's a small group of men that control it anymore. I think it's just women.
Well, but here's the thing, though. You look at like child support, alimony, right? The federal government matches, I think it's like 69 to 70 cents on the dollar for every child support dollar that the state collects, right? And then the judge's retirement fund gets a percentage of that money. So you have these judges, these politicians and stuff. They don't want, Sean and Sean's ex-wife to work things out outside of the courts because then they're not getting their money, right?
Go ahead.
Oh, when women, these women think that they're winning because they see the rest of us men losing, right? But they're so dumb that they don't see that all this is part of an agenda to just basically steal time and money from the rest of us men.
I always say, I don't even like putting on lawyers and judges because they're simps just like you was when you signed the freaking marriage without a prenup.
Yeah, that's true.
So they just like you.
Yeah.
Not you specifically. I mean, like, literally. And again, the judges can't force your family to come in the courts. That is something that the girl you said you loved, you said she was different, you said that she was special, and you was willing to fight anybody who talked bad about her. Right? She's the one who walked in those doors. She's the one who actually started the warfare against you. So you can't, you putting the judge and the lawyers in it, and they simps just like you. They might still be in the relationship, still married. I remember there was a judge who was like, bro, I convicted men over 30 years and called them all terrible individuals. And then it wasn't until his wife up and left him that he woke the hell up and said, God damn, my convictions were pretty little bit rough.
Yeah. I look at it kind of like how the trad cons are. Because I think, who do you think is the biggest threat?
Yeah, that's a good example.
The biggest threat to, I want to say 19 to about 38-year-old men. These are men that are either starting out and they've graduated from college or whatever and got their first big raise, or they're thinking about getting married. Who do you think is the biggest threat? We got the male feminists, we have the trad cons, we have the college-educated urban leftist liberal chicks. Who do you think is the biggest threat?
I would say for my lifestyle, I'm not really against other people's lifestyle because they're gonna do whatever the heck they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say if you really look at it, and possibly the trad con.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
Again, men want to live that life. I can't force them to live a life that they don't want to.
Yeah,
even with the information, they're hopeless romantics.
Because I used to think male feminists and these wokey wokes and all them. Oh, guys, trad cons, they have this. They think that they have this righteous, religious soaring on the wings of righteousness as they're staring down at everyone. And all a trad con is a guy who's thinking like it's the 50s and the 60s and not acknowledging that women have changed. They want to hold men to these same standards, but will call you weak if you say, "Look, hold me accountable." Fine, but what's a woman's accountability? And they have nothing for you. That's all a trad con is. You know what I'm saying? Is they constantly say that if you somehow can't rein women in, you're weak. It's like, this is not Saudi Arabia. This is not the Flintstones where you can bop them upside the head with a club and drag them to your cave. You know what I'm saying? Women are going to do what they're going to do. And to always hold men at a deficit because we can't force women to do what we want. That's crazy to me. And that's the trad con's way of doing things. Well, if you truly were a godly man, she'd fall in line. What does that mean?
Yeah, right. But if that be the case, you wouldn't need an ecclesiastic preacher to try to get your girl to sleep with you on any occasion as a duty. You wouldn't need that. But
Yep. I really, really have this thing with trad cons, these, Matt Walshes and these Crowders and all of them. And that's why I usually don't celebrate anyone's downfall, but it was quite hilarious seeing Crowder get cooked and then actually like understanding what our mindset is. It took him getting absolutely wrecked for him to understand how the system works, what our grievances are, how the narrative can run. Oh, Crowder's an abuser and he does all this horrible stuff. And he's watching his whole life fall apart based on one video that his wife set him up. You know what I'm saying? So, but
see,
let's see.
That's a good example right there.
Yep.
I said that's a good example right there. But see, that's the one thing I make observation about women. They're very good at. I know we clown them in the RP space for being so egalitarian or so cooperative or go along. It works for them. And they actually are not cooperative with men in any shape, form, or fashion. So that's a lie. They're cooperative with each other as women.
Yeah.
So when a woman has a narrative that's against another woman, you rarely see them speaking down on each other. But men, it's open season. That's y'all biggest weakness. Y'all end up hating on each other. Then y'all internally start fighting. And then they strike. But as far as the women go, they don't usually strike on each other. They have some differences. Even if a woman doesn't agree with another woman, she's kind of like, okay, teach his own. And then that's it.
One thing that women are good at, guys, it's survival. Guys, put a 1 in this chat if you agree. Because, guys, when the Germans of that particular time period came rolling through friggin' France after shooting up all the Frenchmen, what were all the women doing? They were giving flowers to the soldiers, kissing them on the cheek. You know what I'm saying? Taking them into their homes and and letting Lars and Helmut shoot up the club, right? But then what happened when the Americans came and kicked those Germans out? All of a sudden, what were they doing? They were letting Johnny and Steve shoot up the club. They were doing the same thing. Women are survivors, guys. That's one thing that they're really, 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 really good at is surviving, man. You know? So here, Sean, let me show you this really fast. Guys, here you go. I want you to, guys, soak this in. All right? Here we go.
People ask me all the time why I think I'm still single, and the only answer that I can come up with is because every single man that I meet, I think I'm smarter than. And what do I fucking look like dating somebody who I think is fucking stupid? How are you going to lead me and lead this future family through life if you're a fucking dumbass? What do you mean you've never ordered a cake online from Publix before? You go on the website, you type it in, and you click order? Like, there's what? What do you mean you don't read books? Are you illiterate? What do you mean you use the gym and physical exercise as a mental health outlet? Okay, that just means that you're avoiding your feelings by doing something more strenuous to your body. Let's all make a note of that, shall we? You don't know the right form of there, and there. You don't know what the Great Lakes are. You've never heard of fucking William Shakespeare before. You don't know who Aristotle is. You fucking don't know how to use Google Maps. You don't know how to order a cake at Publix. You don't know how to fucking call the doctor's office and schedule a fucking appointment. You don't know how to get a prescription. You don't know how to update your fucking health insurance. You can't fucking read. You don't know what phonics are. You can't do fucking long division. You don't know anything about fucking history, political or otherwise. Any feminist literature to you is fucking stupid and useless, and it's just a woman being emotional. You don't know how to change a tire. You don't know how to build a house. You don't know how to unclog a fucking toilet. You don't know how to fucking unclog a sink. You don't know how to fix a garbage disposal. Find the slope of y equals mx plus b and get fucking back to me. If you can't even hold a conversation with me about anything, really, how do you expect this to work long term? Do I look like I'm just going to tie myself to some dumbass fucking man to you?
Sean, she's all yours, buddy. Guys, monk mode and passports. And her name is Cocaine Kents. Guys, that's what she goes by on TikTok. Okay? You guys want to see this this amazingly smart chick? Your favorite sober public menace. So she's a junkie too, right? Look at this broad right here. Guys, this is a chick who's so smart and so amazing and so much better than all of us, right? This is a type of chick, guys, that make right here, guys. No other men on planet Earth have to deal with what us Western men have to deal with.
No,
right?
no, hold on down there. No, hold on down there, Jay. The same equivalent is global, bro. The same equivalent is global. I've been overseas for 18 years. It is global.
It's getting there? Man, that's
no. It's there. It's there, and it's been there. Not it's getting there. There was a 4B movement in South Korea where there was daughters putting knives to their father's necks while they were asleep and putting it online.
I guess the issue with
they don't like men. They hold you guys in contempt.
Yes,
I'm sorry to update you guys on it. This is global. China's worse. Don't think America's one thing. China is 10 times worse.
The thing about Asian men is Asian men don't simp en masse. Like that's why their countries are dying.
They simp en masse. No, they simp en masse.
Well, then why is Japan and Korea, the marriage rates, birth rates, etc., not people just are leaving each other alone? See, the reason why we still have people dating and getting married is because of simps. But look at Japan. If Japan doesn't do something, there will be no Japanese in what, like 150 years?
Yeah. I lived in Japan. The
Yeah.
reason that, and then this is what I used to say to the RP, which always was stupid. If we shame women, if we bring it back, women will do this. No, they won't. In Japan, it has some of the greatest shame. You could get shamed for just being loud on a subway. They don't play games in Japan. So you shame people to the point where they're like, okay, babies out of wedlock, low percentage. Divorce rates, it's very low in Japan. So women took that and said, okay, well, if you're going to shame me for getting divorced, or you're going to shame me for having babies out of wedlock, I will do neither. I will not interact with men. I will not get married. I will not have children. End of story. I'll go to the spa. I'll go to get my nails done. I'll eat noodles. I'll go shopping. I can live life, just live in my small apartment with a cat, and I'll be okay. This is my choice. And I got my girlfriends. So that's what they decided. That's why you have those problemes. And that's why most of the incentivization
is that Japanese men haven't responded by simping. They've just dug their heels in and said, fine, we're fine with this. We're not going to help change laws. We're not going to make things better.
Japanese men still simp. You can go to Japan and there's massive amounts of places where they can simp. They have been relegated to a point where if they want a girl to hug them, they pay for girls to hug them. Let me run that back. They had buy me, drink me bars, not the ones in America where you actually get to see some nudity. No, you sit there and you better not touch the woman and you just get to talk to her and you buy her drinks. That's it. There's no skitty bang bang. There's none of that.
I guess my point is
you can rent a girlfriend.
But the Japanese men have not capitulated and made it so that there's child support laws. No, you're listening. Okay, then why haven't the laws that the Japanese women want changed? Why haven't they changed?
Most of them are changed.
No, they're not.
Gynocentric society.
Because listen.
Gynocentric.
No, because now they have. Listen. Now they have that prime minister.
You're right.
No. Listen.
A woman as the prime minister. Okay, you're right.
Who is anti-woman? She's rolled back all the pro-women. I covered this the other day. Here's the thing.
If you believe a woman is anti-woman, okay, yes. Best of luck.
What I'm saying is, over time, we have given women legal and societal privileges over men here. And in Japan, women are saying we have agreed that they're not getting married, they're not having kids because things aren't in their favor, correct?
You got it, man. You believe what you want to believe. I just lived in Japan, and I know they simps. End of story. They pay for it. They simps.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't.
I agree with that. My point is that look at the laws and look at why they're still not together, why they're still not making families, why the women haven't capitulated with their fight. It's because they're not getting what they want. As far as the laws, we're conflating the social simping and they have all the bars and all that other stuff. Well, what I'm saying is Japanese men and women still remain unmarried. They're still going separate away from each other, and the need for women to not deal with men is still there. What I'm saying is legally they haven't simped. Legally, per the laws, they haven't.
Because of child support or something?
All of that stuff.
Legally, they have not simped. I don't
understand.
Yes,
what I mean is, think about how men get cooked in divorce court and child support and all that stuff here, where there's the system that women can use to cook men over here, correct? That's not in Japan.
Yeah, you can still say 3 words and lock a man up in Japan. Just by allegations alone. Me Too is real in Japan.
Okay, but that's kind of a different topic. What I'm saying is that
you're talking about one aspect, which, okay, cool. But there's so many other aspects of law that still apply that favor them and make it a gynocentric society, period. It's not all the same laws from America. Yes. There's some nuance. Yes. But overall, it's still a gynocentric society, period. I don't know why we're trying to make Japan the stand-in of like men going their own way or holding the resistance.
I'm not saying that.
That's not accurate.
So the way that I see it, as compared to the West, Korean men and Japanese men have dug their feet in the sand and said, "Look, I'd rather go and pay some broad to have a drink than friggin' change our laws here to where it's like the United States, where chicks can destroy men in child support court and family court and all of that." That hasn't changed. And what I'm saying is, if the Asian men were simps like us men were, where we can give our entire legal system over, that's what I'm saying. Is they would rather let their country die than here in that legal sense they aren't. Because they would rather let the country die than give the women what they want. They would rather see their birth rates as below, like completely cooked, than change the laws and cave into women's legal demands. Legal demands. How about that? Legal demands.
They still cave into women's legal demands. It's just not the ones you mentioned. But okay, it's irrelevant. There's still simps.
But here, I'll be specific. Per the ones I mentioned, right?
Yeah,
they will not
capitulate.
Yeah.
Still simps though. Like, you know what I'm saying? You still overall cooked. Oh, you just less cooked. Okay, congratulations.
Yeah,
one is well done and one is like medium rare. Like, you know, well done. Like,
what I can say though is, once again, you have men who, instead of giving modern women everything that they want, they would rather sit and watch the ship sink. Because Japan is sinking. Japan's cooked. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know about all that. I just know that dynamics change, but okay.
But they have the lowest birth rate in the modern world.
And 1 second ago, look, that's just my position. I just don't agree with the whole we're cooked because the population ain't increasing. It's not going to be like that. And it's always changing. Just a second ago, people were saying we were overpopulated in 2000. Now we're underpopulated. It makes no sense.
Yes,
we
but
introduced over 6 billion humans to this species.
Is
like
that their aging population, when you have more old people than young people to actually run the country from an economic standpoint, Japan's it's gonna fall over.
It'll be all right. We got robotics and AI. But okay, we'll see.
I think I actually watched a thing and it said that we still use like 80s and early 90s robotics in a lot of factories. So it's not like we have like Terminators that are actually
that's I don't know who's we.
We have old school machines in like Ford's factories that these arms that, you know what I'm saying? Or like how the Boeing still use floppy disks of their updates. So I don't think that we're as far along as we think. But
okay. I'm the finance guy who has multi-millions of dollars from investing in industrial revolution.
And I'm not doubting you, but what I'm saying is you have a realistic view of AI and all this, but I've seen people that honestly think that it's going to look like the Jetsons out there. And what I'm saying is that it's not like that yet. You know, we have data centers, we have all these things, but does a factory that makes Ford trucks look fundamentally more different than it did 15 years ago?
And Ford is the worst example. You just picked the suckiest company, but okay.
A Toyota?
Toyota's a way better example, and they're advanced.
What I'm saying is the assembly line, though, does that look much different than it looked 15 years ago?
Yes, actually, yes. Tesla advanced the assembly line. He's the first one to change, but it's definitely robotics for the most part. Very little linemen, and not towards the end when it talks about interweaving the connectivity of the wirings inside
I'm
of the
not
car.
doubting the electronics. What I'm saying is, I think that
I'm saying it's robotics. It's advanced robots.
No. I know. What you and I think are advanced robotics, and what a person who's uninformed, they think that there's like an Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator that's doing it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, bro, that's not quite exactly what it is. But all right. Let me see here. Okay, so do you want to what do you think red pill, black pill, and MGTOW is? Like, how would you define those three terms?
But I don't know. I mean, there's spectrums to it all. So, I mean, whatever those guys say it is, I know some guys say like it's all, it's the destruction of civilization or something of that nature for black pill, red pill, talking about some truths about reality. Some say with women nature. And what was the other pill?
MGTOW.
MGTOW. MGTOW's old school though. MGTOW is
Yeah.
just going your own way. I kind of more so lean in that direction than all that other stuff. Definitely just do your thing. Go your own way. Chart your own course. It doesn't even have to be withdrawal from society or hating everybody. I see it as designing your own path and architecting your own future. Let everybody else do as they please. It's their life.
Yeah, I see Red Pill more as as a descriptive part, right? So there's a dossier, there's a binder of information, facts, data, statistics that a man can look at, and then he can make his own prescriptions based on said descriptors, right? That's what Red Pill is. People, they try and mix the prescriptive and the descriptive, and that's where people go awry. It's like MGTOW, Black Pill, or whatever. I have a softer version of MGTOW called Men Minding Their Own Business. That's me. It's more indifference. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like guys, I'm telling you, like, I've covered stories of that good Samaritan, right? And he saw some chick getting whooped upside the head at the gas station, and he decides to go over there and be Superman. And then homeboy shot him, stabbed him, and then she jumped in her boyfriend's car. And they took off and left him. You guys remember this guy?
Would you do it again?
Hell yeah, I'd do it again. Hell yeah, because that could be my mother, my sister, anybody else.
This guy, he was on the New York train, and this chick and this guy were having an argument, and he grabbed her, and this guy, he decided he was going to be Batman, and homeboy beat the crap out of him, broke his face, you know what I'm saying, gave him a brain bleed. And I said, look, guys, mind your own business, and that ain't got nothing to do with you. You go to work, guys, no happy hours, no holiday parties, no traveling with chicks, guys. You don't even need to be just guys, mind your own business and do what's best for you. Just do your own thing. Now to me, Black Pill is more of a active, like, I'm checking out. It usually has a bit more negative connotation as far as like not really having a lot of optimism when it comes to dealing with women. But I think that MGTOW I think we have a clear thing of that. But Red Pill is more of the descriptive. And what happens is that, have you ever heard, when you make Red Pill talking points, Sean, have you ever heard anyone disprove the talking points? Because I know people, they talk about who says it and how it's said, but not actually prove the argument's wrong. What do you think?
I'm trying to think. But what I would say is, nah. I'll probably just say what you just said. That's a better description of what they would do.
So solutions. So Sean, a question for you, my friend. Let me see. Where are we? What do you think about? There's one question that's the most important question that I think that men have been forced to ask in the last 30, 40, 50, 60 years. It's, what am I getting out of this? What am I getting out of contributing to society, right? What am I getting out of getting married, having kids, and contributing? And I always use my example. Imagine that there's a cowboy and a horse riding through the Old West, right? The cowboy needs the horse because he can't walk to the next town, right? He can't because it's too hot. Yeah. What if the horse goes, what am I getting out of this? Because the horse doesn't need the cowboy. The horse can find water, it can eat, it can drink. What if the horse goes, what am I getting out of this? And bucks the cowboy off because the cowboy can't articulate why the horse needs him. That's what men are asking. What am I getting out of holding society on our backs? And no one, not women, not tradcons, no one is able to articulate to especially young men what we're getting out of this. What do you think?
Yeah. Oh, that's a very interesting one. I mean, for me, I would just speak on me because each man teach his own, because I really do believe in men mind their own. What would you say? Mind your own business? Or? Men
minding their own business. MMTOB, baby.
Yeah. Men minding their own business. And I also, I know people take that in the sense of like minding your own business, but I mean minding your own business. Focus on your business and what you got going on.
Yep.
And so net, I believe that's what you get out of from society. Like, shout outs to America. I love America. I served my country, but it was for me at the end of the day. It wasn't for no liberal other person externally outside of me. It wasn't for nobody else's legacy. And so when I started to look at it like that, I got a lot out of it. But as soon as you start mixing in and mingling in, like, oh, my community, the black community, yeah, right. Little return on investment. Soon as you start mingling that into, oh, a woman, little return on investment, unless she's rich, unless you got married to a billionaire woman, then it's like, at the end of the day, I don't see much return on it. So I really don't even focus on it. I think like the best gift that I try to give men is that you can live one of the dopest lives in this time. All those other times before in the past, most men probably died in somebody else's war on some battlefield for some other cause. Most of them lived underneath a king, a lord, a duke who could take your wife anytime he wanted. So the past is nothing to think of nostalgia. Like it was dope. It was not. It was a rugged, effed up place for everybody, especially men. And so I say some of these times we get to live longer. We don't have to go in nobody's war like that. Not millions of us die by the boatloads no more. And so
Sean,
I think we can live a free life.
You know what the only argument that anyone can give against what you just said? Because guys, put cook, COOK, put cook in the chat if you think Sean was cooking, right? The only argument they have against that is shame. Sean, how dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you think that you can live for yourself? How dare you think that you're not a pack mule for women in society in the black community? How dare you, right? What a joke. And you guys know that someone's wrong when all they have is shaming language. There is nothing that wasn't logical, reasonable, or unrealistic that Sean just said. But how many times have we heard this, guys? These women, these trad-guns, these feminists are trying to say, oh, you sound like
everybody.
Exactly. An istaphobe. But you were saying? I interrupted you.
No, I was saying everybody, even other men.
Yes.
Which is just disgusts me most of the time.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so fed up with a lot of men. Because even men will shame you out of that type of stuff. And it's like, bruh, this is my life. You know what I'm saying? I'm not committing any crimes. I'm not doing nothing illegal. But they'll even shame you into the nonsense because they're indoctrinated off to the same stuff you had to get yourself out of. And so at the end of the day, I think that's the best strategy. And I love the word you used earlier was indifferent. I'm indifferent. I'm not saying that I'm hoping for the decline of the West. Hell no, my money's there. My bank account's there.
Yeah.
But definitely I'm hoping for the incline of my life. And I'm going to make sure it happens and not going to put anything else in front of that. This is for me.
Well, I think that one of the things we see with a lot of the younger generation, especially millennials, being more effeminate, because we actually looked at the statistics and millennial men, I think it's like 67% claim that they're feminists. So they are the most feminine generation that there is. They're raised by single moms or whatever. And you see men hating on each other like how women do. Like, it's guys, you cannot, if a man's success, another man's success needs to motivate you. If you see someone like Sean or anyone, guys, reach out to him and email him. Hey man, how did you get so successful? Because if there's one thing that I told you guys, secret, myself, a lot of us who do well, guys, we are more than willing to share information or at least kind of help to point people in the right direction, or at least try and get you out of that matrix. There's one thing that I say that we don't do over here, and that's us older guys, because I'm 45, right? I say this all the time. We are not trying to compete with you 25-year-old guys. If you look at women, this is the first time in history where 45-year-old chicks and 55-year-old chicks are trying to compete with 25-year-old chicks for all the same dudes. Because I want to see, by the time that you're my age, you 22-year-old guys, I want you guys to have surpassed where I'm at. I want you guys to learn from my mistakes, Sean's mistakes, secrets, mistakes. I want you guys to not make the same mistakes that we didn't learn. That's why our side will always win. So, okay. So I think that this is the cheapest time for men to be bachelors. Because remember, back in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, it was the Hugh Hefners and all those guys were the single guys that were the bad bachelors. But what these feminists didn't understand is they made this the cheapest time ever for a guy to make $60,000, $70,000 a year, live in a decently priced area, have a little house and an older truck, and just live by himself. Oops. So, Sean, what do you think in general that men need? And this is a very, 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 very broad question. So answer this any way you want. What do you think men in general need to know about money? Now, mind you, there's guys my age, fine, but assume that you're talking to a guy that's about 18 to about 30-ish, like a Gen Z, maybe younger, a younger millennial. He didn't have like a kind of male role model, or maybe I don't know. What do you think? I'm just kind of rambling on now, but what do you think men need to know about money? I was trying to add more context there, but I just
No. I think one of the important things that I try to teach people about money, because a lot of Western culture is very negative about money. Like, money doesn't matter.
Yes.
Just the root of all evil. That type of gynocentric BS, right? Because they suck with money, as we could see with the 401k. Yeah. So what I try to teach men is the money is your pathway to freedom. It's going to buy your time back, your life back. Like we always see men in this kind of pendulum, like, man, in order to, be with my family or my friends, I need money. But then my family and friends are like, hey, we want your time. And I'm like, I can't, you know what I'm saying? I got to work. I can't be with you and work. Well, this is where if you master money, if you learn to be actually financially literate, you can get your time back. I was able to actually get out of all that and retire at 32 and take my life. And I was at the pinnacle of my career, like making $1 million+ in a year. But I decided to step away from it for my life. It was so important to me. So money can provide that opportunity. And then it allows you to also go to any market in the world. So now you're not pigeonholed into just America. You can be like, man, I don't like y'all attitude. I don't like what y'all doing. I'm finna move over here. You could buy citizenship. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how big money is. You could just be like, I'm Turkish now. You could just make up whatever, because, those options exist in the marketplace. So I would say money is important for your freedom. I don't like to preach money for materialism. I'm not against it. If somebody wants to go buy some stuff, that's their business. But I'm big on saying, hey, get your money right so you can get your time back and get off that plantation. That's what I say is the most important thing about money.
If there's one thing that I can respond, and I can see when you talked about how the West's idea of money is cooked, is negative and it's cooked. When you had said, I don't talk about money for materialism, it's like you were saying that for the Western mindset. People outside, thank you. Yeah. See, like people from Russia, people from Ethiopia, they need money. They say, look, I need money. And you can't call an immigrant who comes here with nothing and builds them up so that their kids can have a better life. You don't call them materialistic. You don't. No. But in the West, we have this thing where, like, I say the West, we hate winners. We like the lovable losers, right? We always think that if Sean or Seagrip or anyone that has a lot of money, you must have taken it from someone, right?
You must have stabbed somebody.
Yeah, that you're eating off someone's plate, or it was sheer luck, especially in our community, right? In the Black community. Oh, you just managed to by and then also too, that when you are making lots of money, there's this weird, have you noticed the backhanded compliments that they're trying to be like, well, I just choose to not be as successful as Sean. I mean, Sean's got a lot of money, but they have to throw some shade. And that mindset,
some shade.
Yes. Guys, if you have friends that every time that you get a promotion, every time maybe you bought a new car and you were dumb enough to actually put it on social media. Don't do that, guys. Don't advertise your life on social media. If you see backhanded compliments or you see people hating, guys, block those people. If they can't celebrate your success, you don't need them in your life. And here's the craziest part, Sean. My older sister's been my biggest op my entire life.
Oh, wow.
It's crazy. Every single raise, every single everything. She's always been hating on me. And that's where I kind of understood that her mindset is kind of America's kind of true mindset about those who are winning and those who are losing, those who are stuck in one place and those who are moving forward is instead of saying, look, Sean's getting his money right, or Keyshawn's squatting 400 pounds in the gym. Oh, let's go. That should be empowering to you. But instead, it's just hate. You know what I'm saying? So, but thanks for that, man. I appreciate it.
Wait, let me ask you something about the sister thing. You said that there was a lot of ops and a lot of hatred when you were getting promoted. Did she ever try to be like, why won't you get married? When are you going to get a girl? Like, I feel like, they be doing that, trying to get you set up too.
Oh, yeah. Well,
who you going to share it with?
Yeah,
who you going to share it with?
Yes, my sister is so funny because I had two parents. My dad, he's a doctor. My mom was a therapist, OT. We went from being like poor to being like the Huxtables. You know what I'm saying? There's no reason why my sister should end up being a 48-year-old single baby mama that's angry and mad. It's the culture itself. It's the culture. And we can talk about the culture here, because I don't do the whole Black community thing. I don't do the whole, I got to save the community. I don't do it. I don't.
That.
And Sean, I actually had a Black woman randomly call into my show. And she was kind of talking about, because on this channel, kind of like yours, we trash talk everyone. B-dubs, nug, small hats, Asians. We talk about LDHD TVs. And I was telling her, I said, my biggest op at all my jobs has always been Black. Every job I've ever had, my biggest op has been another Black person. And she said, you're trying to say that Black people are your biggest op? I said, you don't listen, do you? I said, I never said Black people are my biggest op because I am Black. I said at my job, my biggest op has been a Black person. And there's a difference. I think that we can save this for a different part of the stream, but there, you don't see middle class, upper middle class whites hanging out with Trailer Trash, Tammy, and Cletus. You don't see it.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
You don't see the trash Asians. The rich ones tend to avoid them. We're the only ones where you'll see Nug, right, and Gloctaviarius getting his haircut at the same place as a Black man who's a lawyer. Like, why? There needs to be delineation between the middle class, upper middle class, the rich, and then Nug. You know what I'm saying? And I refuse to put myself around that element. You know what I'm saying? And people go, oh, that's messed up. My joke is when I bought my house, I drove around to make sure that the majority of the people don't look like me. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm sorry to say it. This might sound bad. You know what I'm saying? But there's one thing that I can say about white people, and that's they're predictable. They're predictable. My neighbors, I can tell you week to week, day to day, what they're going to do. They leave me the hell alone. I leave them the hell alone. That's just how it works. But other than that, I don't want to live in an unpredictable area. So, question for you. Okay. Look, there is a category of men, and I call them like these 18 to 25-year-olds, right? Where they're just getting started. They're graduating from high school. They're done with trade school. They're done with college. Maybe they did their 4 years in the military. What do you think specifically they should know about? I'm not going to say a journey because women use the term journey, but about money, like about starting out and trying to be successful with money.
Yeah. I would say one of the biggest things that they need to know is not how much money you make, but how much money you keep.
Oh,
And
there you go. Let's go.
And once you follow that up, it's about.
Mm-hmm.
And once you follow that up, it's about, okay, what should I do with my money? And I have often somebody who will say, okay, hold on. All right, Sean, I got $10,000. What should I do? And I always say, hold that $10,000 and read these books.
Okay.
Take this walk with me, because I'm not going to give you a fish. I'm going to teach you how to fish.
Yes.
And so you need to learn how to find good assets, whether it be a public, stock market, or whether it be real estate. You need to learn that. I can't just give you a ticker. I want you to build up that, because at the end of the day, that's going to be your best skill set ever. That's going to start outperforming your skill, whatever that may be. Like if you're a welder, if you're a truck driver, your financial literacy will be the thing that actually liberates you. So it's about building up that skill set, that financial literacy skill set. So now you can start understanding investments. Because remember, the name of the game is called capitalism. It's not laborism. So again, you need to learn about capital. And I ain't talking about dumb stuff like back in the 1913, the Federal Reserve, and then J. Edgar Hoover. Skip all that dumb nonsense.
Hey, but Sean, you know what's funny is, how many times have you been on a panel, right? And that just comes up, right? And it's just like, it's just mental masturbation. That's all it is. Yeah. Like, it just drives me crazy, because then we go down the conspiracy theories and all this other crap. and I say this because this is why I can't go on primarily black panels, because, well, the number one thing, let's just say that like you, me, Tim Hicks, and Seagrip were cooking, and there's like two B-dubs. One of them can't stand the fact that there's 4 black men having a good conversation. So they always start being disrespectful, and then you got to check them, and then someone white knights, right? But I don't like how there's an inability to discuss serious, practical, pragmatic issues without going down the conspiracy theory rabbit hole. Because I say this, let's just grant, I'm going to grant every single conspiracy theory that there is, every single one, right? Now what? What do I do? I still have to go to work tomorrow. I still have to pay my mortgage. The moon landing didn't happen. There's reptilians. They're everywhere. They're eating children. I have to work tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything. The markets are going to still be the market. The banks are going to still be the banks. The interest rates are going to be the interest rates. That's and when you try to keep people to the practical, right? That's when you start getting pushback. Because it's when you hold them to the practical, it holds up a mirror to their face. Right? And they realize that they've been wasting their time on this foolishness. So, you were saying?
No, I wanted to share something. Let me see if I can share it on the screen. I don't know if you let me.
Yeah, let me. There you go.
And I also pulled up a couple of books, and I'll show that in a minute.
There was what was I going to say?
Illuminati, New World
Order. New World Order, but small hats. It's like, I say this. I used to be part of that whole, like, new atheist, Christians are stupid, blah, 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 debate everyone on religion, and then you just grow out of it, and it's whatever. People always go, oh, I'm not religious personally, but if you are, fine. Guys, people always go, well, Christians and Muslims, they're dumb and they can't think critically because they presuppose the answer for everything, and that's God did it. So ha ha ha. But I'm like, if you're a wokey woke, then you're presupposing that it's capitalism's fault, or you're presupposing white people did it, or you're presupposing small hats did it. You can't think critically because you're blaming one group for everything. You're doing the same thing that you claim Christians do. So. Here's the screen. There you go.
Okay, cool. So this is just just like, it's a family office. I actually run a family office, and then I don't know if everybody's familiar with a family office is, but it's just like when you start to build up your certain, let's say, amount of net worth, right? You got to take custodian or take charge of your own money and actually treat it like it's a business, right? And so there's these thing called family office. It's just basically a family with a good amount of money, like, the Rockefellers. That's kind of like a big family office. But net, you have money, and then almost you become a bank, right? And then you manage that money, you allocate that capital. And so for me, I've been investing for over 15 years. And this is just one of my accounts. So one of my accounts for over a span of like at least 5 years, it's got an 8-bagger, which Peter Lynch will call an 8-bagger. But you could say 729% return. So that brings me, even just in that portfolio, at almost a 50% annual return. If you know anything about the market, the average is usually 10. And I'm talking about even people who are what you would call managers of accounts. They get less than that. They don't outperform indexes, majority of them. So it's a very hard thing to do. But at the end of the day, when you really are concentrated on how you build out your portfolio, what assets you're investing in, even though you're working your primary job, whether that be a trucker, a welder, whatever, right? That is what matters, because when you dive deep into the details of how to manage your money versus all the other BS, like you were just talking about, Jay, right? Like the Illuminati, the New World Order, this is all a Ponzi scheme. This money is quite real.
Yeah.
When I pull out this money globally, it actually works. Nobody's in Thailand or Hong Kong telling me, well, the USD don't mean nothing, it's going down.
Yeah.
They take that money and smile.
Yeah.
They're like, yes, sir. How you doing, Mr. Charlie? Yes, me help you. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you focus on that. And so most of it is focusing on, I started in real estate. I will get everybody to start in real estate.
Yes.
Definitely reading these books about financial literacy. I got a bunch here from John D. Rockefeller, Where's the Money, Main Street Millionaire.
But what's funny though, Sean, is everyone's, they kind of use the Rockefeller name as an expletive. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, but look, guys, look at how many Rockefeller books that he's recommending. So, guys, once again, this is about changing, like, your paradigm, like changing the your mental status, like changing the way that you see money. And this is what I was going to ask you quick. Sean, do you agree with me that capitalism is a masculine mindset and socialism is a feminine mindset?
I would say yes, but
let's go, guys. I honestly believe that. Like, there's nothing worse. I grew up in woke Seattle, Washington. All right, so I've heard every single pitch for socialism, for anti-capitalist rhetoric, and it's all a bunch of lazy losers who don't want to work. And all they're doing is they're sitting there and they're looking at how much food that Sean has on his plate, how much food that I have on my plate, and instead of going out and getting their own food, they're just saying that's messed up, that's not right. Why do they have that? It's just absolute insanity. You know what I'm saying? Let me see.
Yeah, I would. Let me just say this real quick. I often have a thing, the Forbes wealth list, right? The Forbes list. I got the thing called Sean's list. I just made it up, but it's the Sean's list. And basically, it's something that most people don't talk about. So let's just say Jeff Bezos. Even though Jeff Bezos has $300 billion, right? He only has 8% of the company left, but he's created $1.3 trillion for other shareholders and investors. And most people assume that that's like rich celebrities. It's not. It's actually the teachers, your retirement plan. So the only reason why you have a 401k and it does well and it's available for you when you retire is because Jeff Bezos created so much value that your portfolio was growing.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, he only has a small portion left, Doug.
Yes.
It's not like the man owns 100% and he's a trillionaire. He's not. He's far from it.
Yeah.
He sold it into the market and other people bought in and they get the same performance as Jeff Bezos' wealth does. because they, put $1,000 every month in or $200 a month. And so that's the amazing part about it, is it actually helps a lot of other people more than it actually helps the person that we know of, the Elon Musk or the Jeff Bezos or Tim Cook or Larry. These guys, they only receive a small portion. The rest of the money is for other people.
Guys, go to Sean's channel, please, and drop him a sub, please. I'd appreciate that. And guys, I say this, right? If Elon gets another billion, guys, that look, you're gonna get your money either way. I don't pocket watch. I think pocket watching is one of the most beta feminine things that these young guys do now. Guys, if Bezos, if he gets another billion, bro, I don't care. I'm getting my money. This scarcity mindset just drives me crazy. And a lot of it is because you see a lot of guys, once again, they go to these colleges, and I'm so glad that I graduated when I did, but it gives you this socialist, feminine mindset of just hating on those who are successful instead of learning from. And it's absolutely insane. Guys, once again, you see all these books Sean has, you can read these yourself. You don't need to get a master's in anything to figure this out. It just doesn't make any sense. Korg with the $5 says, you young guys need to listen to this man. I wish I had a mentor like this in my 20s. Let's go. There you go. And guys, Sean's doing big things on his channel. He goes live also, But yeah, thanks for the $5, my friend.
You are scaring the hoes.
I decided I'm going to bring up the other money guy that I know. Grip.
What's going on, man? What's going on?
Yeah, so Sean, you're in Thailand, right?
Yes, sir.
Grip, you were in the DR or in Colombia?
Both. I lived in both. I lived in both countries.
So Grip, you must like the racially ambiguous big booty broads. Yeah, that's what.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Guilty as charged, convicted, bro.
But Sean, I want to say, brother, I am so proud of you. And I had a chance to go through your channel earlier today. You're doing big things, brother. And if I can just tag on to one more thing, guys, you heard me say it before, time magnifies and compounds everything. And the earlier you start, you just magnify it. They say, the first 10,000 is hard. But then once you get that first 10,000, then you get that first 100,000. But once you get to that first 100,000, time really start magnifying and compounding. Yeah. And the earlier you start, at my age, I made so many, I haven't been shy about the financial mistakes that I've made. Chasing punani over purpose, and wiping up B-dubs, and and doing that stepdaddy thing. And I know that the opportunity cost you lose. And when I say investing in a chick will always be high risk, low reward.
Yeah. Look at Sean's face. Look at Sean's face.
The worst investment.
Guys, so I have another question for you, Sean.
Okay.
No, Sean, it's all you, man. The floor is yours, my friend.
Yeah. I wanted to say, thanks for saying that, Grip, because one of the things, you might see me and be like, okay, you're a multimillionaire. Why are you on this show talking about women? I found it to be the most biggest detriment to men or anybody with money.
Facts.
So it's so important that the RP, the manosphere, as much as people say, if you don't know it, I know guys who are millionaires and billionaires that tell me, hey, I would come to Thailand, but my wife won't let me. They have the money. They have the money. They have a private plane, Jay.
Guys.
But because they don't have a permission slip, they can't live their life the way that they want to. That's how money is vastly important. And so is what so is what Jay and Gripper and everybody in the space is talking about. Because if you don't master both of those things, a woman would master you and master your estate.
Sean, question, isn't that crazy though? That there's not a lot of finance guys in the space though. There really aren't. Like, think about it. I mean, you have the ones that are, I'm doing my courses and the crypto. But guys, in this chat, how many guys that are talking practically and talking in plain terms like Sean has been doing? I don't see a lot of you guys out there. I don't.
Yeah.
I really, really don't.
They're all getting paid for, and I'm not hating, but what I'm just saying is I'm not getting paid for most of this. I really don't. Like, I got money. So net, I came to the YouTube already having money.
Yes.
But then also on top of that, I just learned in my path just watching my mentors. I'm like, bro, I need to be on point with women or my bank account won't be my bank account. It will be literally, right? Yeah. Her money, my money, her money. Yeah. She would have just like, I just seen it. I seen guys just get stuck in that box. And I'm like, bro, you're a millionaire and money doesn't help. It doesn't solve their problems. Money doesn't help shorties from cheating on you if you're 6 feet tall with a six-pack, and it does not matter. They're going to do what they're going to do. But if you really don't master both areas of life, you will be in a bad position.
Oh, Rob says finance channels get the highest engagement, but will not have engagement if they inject Redpill into it. Oh, exactly. That is true because they are trying to play it safe. That's right. Or they're trying to build their platform and play it safe. But speaking of what you guys had said about letting a chick in, check this out, guys. Look at this. Because my next question is, what advice, Sean, do you have for guys that are 28 to 32 that, like, they just graduated from law school, they just got that big promotion, so they're just finally starting to make good money, right? Do you see this? What did we say, guys? Letting a chick in to your life can be one of the worst financial decisions you've ever made. So this chick, she's engaged or she's married, $330,000 in student loan debt. Look at that, guys. Some simp, some sucker, some clown is taking on this chick. Look at this.
I'm going to come out and say it. I am in a shit ton of student debt, and I could elaborate on how that happened, but essentially I went to pharmacy school at a private institution. My student loans got paused due to COVID. And then
I know 4 guys personally, their wives are pharmacists and they have over $250,000 in student loan debt, and they married the chick anyways. 4 personally in my life, I know.
They were just like in forbearance for 5 years. And I think I kind of thought that it was possible that maybe I would magically fly under the radar of the federal government and the Department of Education forever, and they would forget about me, and that was how my loans would get forgiven. And I just received notice this week that my forbearance was lifting and my payments would resume starting in July of this year. So we're kind of in an interesting situation now where we had previously been.
What word did she use, guys?
We. She from France. She from France, bro. We.
Hey, guys, I'm telling you, these educated chicks, if you guys see them.
Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around.
They're poor. They're poor. She's a poor pharmacist, guys. She's a poor, broke pharmacist. And guys, the only person whose money that they'd rather spend than theirs is yours. What a joke.
And saving money for a house. We currently live in a 2-bedroom, 1-bath home, which works really well for us. But one of my goals, my husband's goal, is to live in a house that is conducive to multi-generational living so that our moms can live with us when they retire. I know that's not for everybody, but that's...
Moms?
No, by mom, she means her mom.
Thank you very much, guys. I told you. I was saving this for you guys. Someone say something, please. Whose idea do you guys think this situation was?
I think he think it's his. She might have did one of those Inceptions with Brad Pitt, like when he was dreaming, put it 3 leaps a day, and then they fell back, and then he woke up like...
Hey, anything a woman she whispers in your ear after you nut, I'm telling you, that's
Inception. That's Inception.
Guys, we're gonna call that the Inception from now on. I told you guys, cooked Cooked.
Something that's really important to us. And so we've been saving aggressively towards that. But now we kind of have to shift our strategy because I've got this mountain of student loans. So first thing that we're going to do is take a look at my federal loans, which are comprised of a bunch of smaller loans. And we're going to attack the loan with the highest interest rate, which for me is 7.9%. I think the balance on that loan is $34,000. Once we knock out that loan, hopefully that will shrink our monthly payment, which I don't even know what the monthly
Our monthly payment. And guys, her monthly payment's going to be, was it maybe $2,900? And that's minimum. That's barely covering a little bit of the interest. Because I know a guy, he was an ROTC in college, this idiot. He went to a private school. Guys, tell me why he dropped out his senior year. Now he had $260,000 in student loan debt for a bachelor's degree. And his student loan payment was $2,700 a month because he's a moron. What an idiot.
Payment is going to be. That's TBD, apparently. Then we're just going to continue trying to knock them out. But if you can relate, if you are in a situation where you have a shit ton of student loans, but you're also trying to save for a house and you're trying to maybe see if it's possible at all to do that simultaneously, I hope you follow along. I also just want this to be a space where being in debt is like destigmatized.
Now, guys, here's the thing. You know, she's not a bad looking chick. She seems, pretty. Wow, she lives in Portland. Yeah, the Pacific Northwest chicks. That's why. Guys, avoid chicks like this.
Well, so that's how they get
chicks.
you.
What's that?
That's how they get you.
Yeah. Avoid chicks like this at all costs. You know what I'm saying? But Sean, what do you think guys that are 28 to 32, they're kind of hitting a little bit of that financial stride. They got that big raise. They got their first job at a law firm. Maybe they started their own roofing business and it's taken off. What do you think that they should do now that they've followed your advice from when they were 18 to 24? What do you think that they should do?
Protect themselves at all time. You know how you in boxing? Protect yourself at all time. She ain't different.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Yeah. I mean, Coach CGA said it, man. You're not a high-value man. You're a high-value target.
Yeah.
And so it's even at this point, it's time for you to just be on your guard. And again, okay, we got some lover boys, Drakes, prenup. Yeah. Minimum, if you don't listen. I say never, but never capitulate. But if you just love a boy, Drake, prenup at the max, at the minimum, excuse me. So that, like, you have to protect yourself, man. You have to. It's essential. I just got to keep saying that again. Protect yourself at all times. She is not different. And watch out for what is it? The French women? The French women? Oui. Yeah, you're going to have to look out for French women. Yeah.
Yeah. Superman says the wife will spend your money and save theirs. Facts. You guys remember on that one show, those four black relationship gurus that are on the stage, and the woman asked, she said, what do you do if your husband's not as ambitious as you want? Even though he pays all the bills, he's not as ambitious. And then she was being dead ass serious, and she made more money than him. So she made more money. He paid the majority of the bills and let her keep all of her money, and she's still in public clowning this guy,
cooking him in front of everybody. It's never good enough. If you guys ever feel lonely, guys, there's old Chevelle or Camaro rotting away in the junkyard. Drag it to your garage, put some tender loving care into that bad boy. You know what I'm saying? Superman says, I have another one here. It's a honey trap. Yeah. And then, Steve says, what would you suggest for a 19-year-old starting? I think with that, we went over that, but mutual fund ETF.
Yeah.
Just simple. You ain't got to know nothing really. And then of course, just call whatever brokerage account and talk to a financial advisor from day one. And that's what I did at the beginning. I didn't know really much about like individual stocks. So I was just like, hey, I started out with CDs. That's how simple I was at the beginning. And then I graduated from CDs, which is certificate deposits at just like a bank at 3%. And then I was like, all right, let me get a financial advisor. Then I realized he was stupid. And so after a while, I just built up my knowledge and then was able to manage my own portfolio.
But
so
I
that's
think
kind of like a good growth phrase.
Sean and C-Gip and guys like this, I think that you have to admit that you don't know it and you have to learn it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know everything. You could always learn more. And I think that's the difference between the most successful men and those that end up just being just stuck. It's
Down
guys,
bad.
yeah, we don't know everything. And there's not only guys out there who are willing to teach you, they're happy to teach you.
Can I interject something?
Yeah.
So, in the best book to start off with, and once again, you've heard me, guys heard me say this before. Turn your commute to turn your car into a university on wheels. Start your day with something motivational, inspirational, or educational. And so listen to audiobooks. One of the first audiobooks that you should really get into, The Richest Man in Babylon. That is the blueprint if you're 19 starting off, because it will teach you to start working towards saving 30%, 10% for, let's say, and once again, this is education only. This is not advice or recommendation, just education. Having 10% go into, let's say, your retirement account, 10% go into, a brokerage account or investment account, build that out like an IRA, everything like that. And then another 10% so you can take advantage of any future investment opportunities. And so The Richest Man in Babylon, I think, is a really good book to start off with.
Let me add, I add something real quick, Jay?
Yes.
One of the big things I like to say on my channel, and I really mean this, like, I'm big on just being a 9-to-5 and getting wealthy and rich. I'm not a part of the school of hard knocks. Shout out to that, brother. But I'm not like, you can't get rich working for other people. You're going to be a slave. Like, I never had a business prior to being retired. And so net, I was just a 9-to-5 worker, actually a 9-to-9. I was working 12 hours. But net, at the end of that, I was able to accumulate my wealth with a 9-to-5. And it's all about how you allocate your capital and what you do with it. So you can become wealthy. Actually, the majority of your next door neighbor who's a millionaire is just an average 9-to-5er. He's not a guy who started a business bootstrap. He ain't had nothing but a shoestring. Like, those are some people, but most wealth is just somebody who had a portfolio, worked at a job, and put money away for a long time.
Yeah.
That's it. And so you could do it like that. I don't want to just overemphasize, you got to get out in the matrix and you a slave and you can't get your money right if you work.
I think that's kind of the TikTok brain of these Gen Z and millennials. They don't there's two issues that I see when it comes to owning your own business.
There's a couple of issues, but yeah, go ahead.
Well, but as far as the perception of owning your own business, you have people like my nephew. He's 20, and he thinks that owning your own business, you own your own business because it's easier. I said, are you crazy? I said, bro, that's the crazy. I said, if I go to work for Sean has already got up the capital, started. He took the risk to start the business, and I just go work for him. If the business folds, guess what? I just go find another job.
I was telling somebody that, like, people don't often see the burden that comes with it as being a business owner.
Yes.
Like, it's literally illegal for me not to pay you a minimum wage.
Yes.
It's not illegal for me as a business owner to make a minimum profit. Like, I could make no profit at all, even with all the risks that you said I exposed myself to by taking in investors or debt from the bank or leveraging a 401k, leveraging my family house. That's what most business owners do. And the crazy part, here's the statistics, Jay, here's the statistics, is that most 18% of people that make 100K plus are employees. Now, 10% to 12% of people who make 100K are business owners. So most business owners don't make above 100K, but most employees make above 100K. And so that's a big difference. And so being an employee is a great position.
Well, the entitlement that I see, this is part two, because when I lived in Seattle, there was this old school lesbian bar, right? And they all of a sudden the employees wanted to like demand that they be given partial ownership of the business. So imagine that Seagrip and Sean get together money and they start this business. They get the brick and mortar going. They do all this other stuff. And then these idiots have the nerve to demand you give me part of it after you guys have done everything that you can do. That's insane. But here's the clip, guys. I found this here. Guys, here you go. This is what I was talking about here. This is one of the absolute nightmare scenarios for any man. And of course, it's a B-dub, of course.
Mm-hmm. Take care of you, the kids. Is a man who is willing to take care of you, the kids, and the household, but has no ambition worth staying with.
When you say take care of, what do you mean?
He pays all the bills. He take care of the kids. He step in.
How he do that with no ambition?
No, he got money. I want more.
You know what?
He's complacent.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the year when the job market is cooked, when the housing market is cooked, when people are walking away from their children, you got somebody at home that is paying your bills. He is taking care of
you guys. She ain't listening.
Nope.
She ain't listening. She doesn't care. And guys, this is what her friends, her mama, her auntie, all of them are telling her this, all this other stuff, guys. And she thinks that there's going to be the grass is greener. And put a 1 if you agree that she's probably already banging nug. She's probably cheating already.
you, and he is taking care of your kids, and you are figuring out, should I leave him? Are you cool?
Look at that. See? Look at that.
Unfortunately, for a lot of men, there are so many women telling them you have to be more ambitious. And it's because they want the ambition to look like what they want it to look like. But his ambition is waking up every day and going to work, waking up every day and showing up for my children, showing up for my home. Like, that's just as ambitious. You know how ambitious you have to be when you are going through depression. Your girl is telling you you need to do more, and then you don't feel like you're good enough, but she don't know the mental and emotional and spiritual battles that you have and how you still trying to show up for your home. That's ambition, baby. Take a moment. Read, I think it's 1 Timothy 5:8. Because what it talks about is a man who neglects his home is the same as a man who denies his faith. This man is taking care of his home. There is faith and grace in that. He is being provisional. He's still...
She's not listening. She just thought that this would go differently than it actually went.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I make more than him.
See, I make my own money. I make more than him. Look at that.
Ooh.
Right.
And you said he pays all the bills?
Yeah.
And you make more money?
Yeah.
You mentioned that you make more money than him, and I want you to know that was not done by mistake. That was a systemic thing that was put into place so that the black woman can be elevated to start looking at they men like they're not doing enough.
No.
It is very intentional, the fact that you make more money, and even though your man is showing up for you, you start looking at him for like, why can't you do more?
The fact that this man is covering...
Anyways, like I said, their answers are just is what it is. But this is what, when we talk about men minding their own business, men going their own way, guys, you don't even need this in your life. You don't even need this in your life. What are you saying?
So first, I want to tack on to something that Sean said earlier in regards to prenup. You guys heard me say this before. As men, we practice the least due diligence and least risk management when it comes to vetting the women that we allow in our lives. And so before it even gets to that prenup, you guys heard me say this before. One of the things that I wish I would have learned 20 years ago is look for reasons to disqualify a woman from my life, and making her earn, and making her earn every step she gets in it. You got to get promoted from recreational use to side chick. You got to get promoted from side chick to main chick. you got to get promoted from, you got to work your way up and get promoted and put that work in. And just to comment on that last video, the best thing that I hope her husband does see this. The best thing he can do is return her back to the streets, because we will welcome her with open arms and take her to court for child support.
Yeah. This is the most tolerant and welcoming place on the internet. I say this all the time, guys. All of us have simped, all of us have got cooked, but guys, once you stop simping, you are welcome here, guys. We don't judge you for your past mistakes. Secret, you were Army, and then Sean, you were Marines, right? Can you guys both give like a little spiel about the military and like, there's young guys out there that I've spoken to offline about, ask me about, hey, should I joined the military, blah, blah, blah. I was never in the military. My parents were, my sister was, but I don't know. But can you guys just kind of talk about the pros and cons of what you see of your experience in the military? Sean, if you can go, and then Secret.
Yeah, so I mean, for me, I say it's mostly a pro. I really don't see much downside. I mean, besides being deleted when I was a boy, but that didn't happen, so I'm here. But most of the pros was just from, you got the VA loan, which allowed you to go get a home for $0 down. You can get school, which is called TA, tuition assistance, while you're in the military. So you can go get a whole bachelor's degree. And then when you get out, you still got the GI Bill. That means you can go ahead and go to college for another 4 years. Almost any college, all schools accept them in America now. Harvard, Yale, if you get accepted. And then on top of that, while you're going to school, they pay you money. So you have money. So they pay for your tuition, and they give you money every month. And the rates depend on the school and the location. And then on top of that, you get all the experience, the brotherhood, the camaraderie. Like for me, I think like the reason why I wasn't worried about simping is just because I had so much opportunity when I was a Marine to do some dope ass And at the end of the day, I think a lot of men don't have no dope journeys.
Yeah.
They don't have a lot of experiences. So they muster all their existence into a family with maybe some chick. And that's their whole identity. That's their mission. That's their purpose. But for me, when I was a Marine, I had that as a mission and purpose. But don't get it twisted. There's still Marines who get married and all that. And, you know, military members do be simping like nobody's business. But at the end of the day, they had to learn the hard way, right? Between Jody and etc. So I think it's so many upsides if you want to build out your life. For me, I knew I was young. I wasn't disciplined. I didn't want to go into $300,000 debt. So one of the options out there for me at that time was to go to the military. It was the best decision, and got out with a top secret security clearance.
Nice.
Seen the whole goddamn planet and seen the whole world. Shook hands with presidents. So I say this often when somebody be like, yo, man, I'm so depressed I lost a girl. I'm like, bro, I lost battle buddies. Tell me about something that really means something.
Yeah.
So
fact.
for me, my tolerance is just so high because of the real life experiences I had. And I think a lot of men don't have a lot of experiences. So losing a chick is almost like the worst thing in their life. When it's like, bro, this world is big and there's way worse things. You got to build yourself to be a number one problem solver, and then no problems can hurt you.
Yeah.
And that's what the military helped me do.
I think it's interesting that I've traveled a lot, and people always ask me if I was in the military. Like, that's how little men expand their minds as far as experiences. That the fact that you've been to Europe, that you've been to South America, that you've been in the islands, people just assume that you're in the military because oftentimes that's the only way that men are, I don't want to say forced to do that, but are put in the situation where they do such thing. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, guys, you gotta it's a whole big world with different cultures and different people, especially us black men. Like, I know men, like younger guys in their 20s that I've told, you know, go to Colombia, and they'll go, and they can't believe how the women are, how the culture is. They can't believe how, like I said, dude, there's dimes working at the pineapple stand selling pineapples. You know what I'm saying? And I'm from Seattle. So guys, a Seattle 10, we all know is like an LA 5 or a Columbia 4. You know what I'm saying? So come on now. Secret, you have the floor. And then Sean, I have the main question I want to ask you is the next question. And so I can drop it in the chat if you want to prepare your answer, but this is the main question that I want to ask you. I'll drop it in the private chat. But Secret, if you want to talk about the military, here you go.
So, as some of you knew, I grew up in one of the worst housing projects in Philadelphia. And so when I went to the Army, it was literally like, I had no place else to go. And so before then, all I knew was Philly, North Philly, West Philly, and the military definitely developed my wanderlust because I saw just how big and beautiful this world was, and meeting people from all over the U.S. And I thought my situation was bad, but when you're basically training, you'll meet people who are in situations worse than you, and so you really start to learn how to appreciate life. And I personally believe everyone should do at least 2 years because, once again, no discipline. Now, with that being said, one of the worst things I did, and I was smart enough not to, I was smart enough to not, knock anyone up and wipe up anyone else because I'm like, but I love the ladies a little bit too much. And so I wish I would have followed one of my buddies' path. Keep in mind, when you're in the military, you got 3 hots in the cot. You're pretty much wearing uniforms every day. You got your BDUs, your battle dress uniform. So there's really no need for you to buy clothes or anything along those lines. And this dude, he literally saved and invested his money throughout. And I knew this guy for 3 years, and he just saved and invested his money. And when I left the military, when I left the Army, I had maybe $10, $12, $15,000 saved up. This dude had a grip because he knew about saving, investing, and he literally wore his uniform the whole time. And while I was out here dating 3, 4, 5 chicks at a time,
this was Secret in the military.
Oh, shots. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, I could tell some stories. So don't do that. Don't do that. I'm telling you right now, we've all heard the saying, you'll never lose women chasing money, but you'll always lose money chasing women.
Facts.
And then you'll get to be my age where, in my 40s, I had to go so far out on the risk curve as far as investing in other things just to now get to the point to where I'll be 55 in June, to where I'll be able to retire in the next 2 to 3 years. But I had to go so much further out on the risk curve than if I would have been disciplined. If I had the right mentor, I had no mentor. I didn't have a Sean in my life. I didn't have an AJ in my life. Just a saying, if you're the smartest man in the room, you need to find better rooms to hang out in.
Yeah. Guys, once again, this is why our space, let's put a 1 if you'll be why we are going to win. Because, guys, once again, you don't see women having these conversations with each other. When younger women win, the older women get pissed off. You know what I'm saying? They get mad. They don't want to see these younger chicks getting married to successful men and living that soft life. No. So my next question, Sean, is, and this is a huge chunk of my demographics are men ages 38 to about 58, right? And we know that the largest group of men getting cooked and divorced right now are men in their late 30s and mid and early 40s, right? What financial advice do you have for a man who's maybe was 38 to about 45 that just got divorced? I'm talking like the dust has settled. You know what I'm saying? He's still bandaged up from that ass kicking he got by the judge. He's sitting on the futon in his mom's basement because he got the house. What advice do you have for that guy?
The comeback is always stronger than the setback. This is your time to rise to the occasion like a phoenix from the ashes.
That's what's up. Yeah.
This is your new life. You have been freed. Now, there might still be some contingencies to your previous enslavement contract, but now you can design your own future, mind your own business, build your own way.
Yeah.
Look, there's many. I've been very good at OPE. There's a thing called OPM, other people's money. People know that. Yeah, use the bank's money. But I'm good at OPE also, other people's experiences.
Yeah.
And I've seen men
That's a good
who've
one.
been married for long, long years. And at the end of it all, even at 70, 50, 60, over here in Thailand, on the back of their Harley, driving with their Ling Ling, smiling ear to ear.
He said driving with their Ling Ling.
Disowned by their kids.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the new girl's about old as their youngest daughter.
Yeah.
And he does not care. He has a new leash on life. There's a whole world out there for you to explore. Get your money back, build back your empire stronger, better than ever, learn from your failures, and then never make and repeat the same ones. I never marry in a place where my bank account resides. At the end of the day, you have a new leash on life. And I would say go out there and live it. Life has just begun. I've seen men 60 rebuild their lives out here in Thailand.
Yeah.
And I think that you should do it. And I'll land on this point. Go to a place where you're treated the best. I love America. I love the country and the opportunity. I hate Americans. I hate their spirit. I hate their weight size. And I hate their mindset.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I like over here in Asia is that it doesn't matter if you're old or not. People respect you.
Yeah.
If you have actual money, people don't hate on you. They actually respect you and say, congratulations, good for you. And they listen up if you have some lessons to share. And that's what I like. And that's the option that you have as a man in 2026, not a man in the 1950s. We barely had planes back then. Not a man in the 1900s. So don't look to the past. Look to the future, because the future is bright for men when they decide to mind their own business.
There you go, right there. Guys, Tom Likas, he said it the best. You know, he's the GOAT, right? He says, the reason why divorces cost so much is because they're worth it. He said it, guys. He said it. It's never cheaper to keep her, because your freedom, your mental health, your spiritual health, anything that you is worth it. You are better off sitting in a basement apartment that you're renting, you know, with your 7-year-old truck, chilling, being able to go wherever you want and do whatever you want, than be under the yoke of some broad. I'm telling you guys, that's just the way it works. And here's the thing. I'll tell this from my own life. Sorry to say this, mom and dad, but no one knows who you are. I saw my dad put up with my mom's crap for 37 years. And he was a attractive black doctor, you know, titan of his industry. And my mom was just this negative, overweight, negative Nancy. He wanted to open up his own practice because he hated working for people. He hated it. So he decided, hey, I'm in my early 50s. I want to take a risk. All the kids are out of the house. Of course, he's you're never gonna, right? So he gave her the old hevo. She didn't think he would do it. She didn't think he would, and he gave her the old hevo, and he's never been happier, guys. He moved, started his own business, and guys. He's happier in the bug around. And people go, well, don't do things like this. Is not guys, we're grown. We aren't kids, right? This is, at a certain point, selfish as a man is a good thing. I realized what my dad had to do for himself. Okay? He had to either put himself first, or he was going to go nuts. And we villainize that. And this is why platforms like this one, Sean's or whatever, we're trying to get you guys to understand. Guys, what these feminists did inadvertently is free men up to do whatever the hell we want.
There we go. I thank them. That's why I'll be telling dudes, they be like, these feminists, I'll be like, I love them. They got me to realize that my biological imperative and narrative is my own design.
Yeah,
I was like, they liberated, they freed me from catching a bullet. They freed me from being somebody's work mule or war horse. They freed me to be me. I was like, shout out. I love them.
Yeah.
I can't get enough of them.
Being 19 with, married with already 2 kids, like our grandfathers and great-grand. I know a guy, my high school math teacher. This guy got drafted to the Pittsburgh Pirates. Didn't go because his wife didn't want to move to Pittsburgh. Look at that. So now he's a high school math teacher. Guys, once again, you cannot let these women affect your life. Last question is Sean, passport bros. What do you think? I mean, obviously you live in Thailand, but give us your trustees on the passport bros. Like, what do you think of it? What do you think? Is it a reaction? Was it inevitable? What do you think is
It's just a new articulation for something that was already in existence. Men have already been experiencing that. I don't even usually connect to it because we chart our own path and our own labels and our own destiny. And that's something that they want to lock us and box us in. But I do say that it's an upside. There's a whole planet. I remember people used to complain so much, and I say this often. They're like, man, these dating apps and Tinder. And what I always say, when people were swiping left and right on Tinder, I was swiping left and right on lenders. The same type of opportunities that's available. The same type of opportunities that are available through social networking platforms with women is the same opportunities and tools that you can utilize to liberate you. Look, you're talking to a multimillionaire because of this goddamn stream, right? Yeah. And so as much as she could talk to Drake or she could talk to Chris Brown, you could talk to a multimillionaire who will mentor you or take a liking to you and show you the path to change your life fundamentally. And when it comes to the passport, bro, or when it comes to traveling, there's a whole marketplace out there. The first time I went to Japan, that was the first country, Iraq don't count. The first time I went to Japan and touched the skin of a Japanese girl, I never looked back. And so at the end of the day, now see, shout outs to Grip. His was the racially ambiguous big booty broad. But at the end of the day, there was a marketplace not only for that, but I tell you about so many things that I love about Thailand outside of the small aspect of life, which is women. Like there's so much upside to the world. So I say the world is at your grips, especially if you're from America. You could almost go anywhere. And this is the one thing I want to land on, Jay, about the passport thing.
Yeah.
Guys, don't hate and resent where you come from.
No.
The reason that you come from America is the reason why you can roll up in somebody's country without probably actual proper documentations and visa, without going through the 9-degree burn at the embassy, is because you come from USA. The reason I can live like a king in Thailand is because of the US dollar. Yeah. So there's a lot of, resentment. Like I know dudes are mad at the girls or feel some type of way, but then they throw the whole country out. And I'm like, bro, you don't want to survive off the local economy in Thailand or in Africa.
The ruble or the friggin'
right,
or all that other stuff. No.
The shillings, the lira. Like you don't want to survive and come back and be selling noodles on the street from 4 a.m. to 9 p.m.
You'll be the one working at the pineapple stand.
Yeah, exactly. And the moment you be like, well, my rent's only $600. I'm like, bro, that's triple of what the average monthly income is. So that again, it's because this flag in the background and our economy is so strong. The American dream is global. And that's what I say for men. It's freedom, rewriting your history and your actual victory. And then actually the whole world is the new American dream for men. So mind your own business and go where you're treated the best.
Yeah, people don't. I always say that how black women, when they get mad when they see us with white women, Eastern women are to Western women what white women are to black women. Black women want a a captive audience. They don't want us going anywhere, right? And they get
Mhm.
mad when they see, because we all know that if they could date out the same way that we could, they would be all over the place, but they can't, right?
They be gone like Donkey Kong.
Exactly. Western chicks, they can't date. Who other than Mabutu from the village, who's trying to get a green card, is trying to run over and date any Western women? You know what I'm saying? That's just the way it works.
What you just said, Jay, that's the key. And then it was funny, you talked about it earlier, intellectually masturbate. Look, guys, stop wasting time yammering on about the shortage and the decline. Your best get back, your best clap is not by passing legislation with Trump, because they all simps too. They ain't going to change it. So at the end of the day, your best bet is to go out here, win in life, and be free. That is the ultimate flex. That is the ultimate freedom pass. Nothing else you could say. Don't worry about passing legislation, talking about this and repeal the 19th. Leave all that behind, all right? And just focus on where you're going.
Well, this is why my whole thing, guys, is this. Once again, men minding their own business. If someone's taking something for granted, what do? You just take it away from them, right? That's just the way it works. This is the only thing that we can be successful at by just disengaging. There's nothing else on earth where us men can win by just not doing anything. Think of this, guys. If enough, well, I have no hope because the West is not going to change. But the only hope that I see, and this is me being uncharacteristic optimistic, is if enough men walk away, right? That, I don't know, society tips over. But then are men going to answer the call? That's just the thing. Are the men, what are they going to have to do to incentivize us men to come back? Guys, I don't think men will. I honestly don't. If you go overseas, you other things, matter of fact, here, Sean, here, let's ask you, secret too, because you've lived in the DR. This is a good question. What can they do to incentivize you to come back and answer the call, Sean? Well, I'm talking marry an American woman, do your duty, as they say, the TradCons say. I told you.
Yeah.
It's over.
Fight to the death.
I told you guys.
Unfortunately, guys, they're too far behind.
Game over, guys. It's game over. Game over. Sean said there's nothing that they can do. He's not going to answer the call. And he's smart. Guys, this is not being unreasonable here, right? There's logically how people came to this decision. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I said this once before. The only thing that you can use to argue against Secret's mindset, Sean's mindset, mine, Mystic's, Keyshawn, is shame. It's trying to shame us men into thinking that we're a man of God. A man of God will take on this single mother and her bastard children. It's not happening.
The only chance that they have. See, here's the thing: you don't know what you don't know. Yeah. Sean and I, we know better. We've seen better. We've become better. So no, it's like once you eat from the tree of knowledge, there's no going back. That's the only thing they can do. Like you said, they need to shame the brothers out here who don't know no better.
Yeah.
And psyop them to not do it.
Yeah, but guys, once again, go over to Sean's channel. Please drop him a sub. You know what I'm saying? If anyone has any questions for Sean, do you have any? Let me see. The floor is yours. Open floor, man. I mean, what is there? Any other points you any other knowledge you want to drop? But yeah, guys, he's doing a lot of things over here. You go live when, Sean?
So I usually do it Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. And that's usually around like 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, and that's what it is as of now. And so what I would say, man, is like on my channel, I always tell people like I love just talking about money. So that's what I usually just talk about because I just love it. It's like a science. And it's probably been one of the most faithful things to me. Like I tell my money to go somewhere and do something. It worked 24 hours. I ain't got to check up on it. It comes back. Yeah. It don't change its mind.
What's the number one thing when polled that Americans say that they don't want to talk about?
Probably money.
Thank you very much. Isn't that
That's probably one of the leading problems in relationships.
Yeah.
And also, and again, what you need, and coupled with that money, because you need an actual, how do I say this? Because I'm trying to give guys, you need testicular fortitude. I'm pretty brutal, bruv. Nobody, like, I remember my mom came to me and said something, right? I was like, look, you don't control nothing anymore. Yeah. I'm a grown man.
I did the same thing. Yep.
And most men have probably not conquered that person, which is their mom.
Yes, facts.
I've seen grown men like, yo, you better watch out for grandma. I'm like, she can't fight. Like, why would I be scared of her? Like, she can't beat me up. Like, what are we talking about? But it's because they still have that control over them. And what I say is I look at everything as a meritocracy. So unless you can't beat me, and I mean on all levels of human endeavor, then you have basically, you're beneath me. And I know it sounds harsh because we like to make everybody equal, but that's just not how the real world works, right? Like, at the end of the day, I know if the United States of America said, hey, it's 0-2-0, it's Sean has to go or Elon, I know I'm gone.
Yeah.
You know, we both humans, but Elon's a little bit more important to me, right? A lot more. And so I'm not really mad at it. I understand how that actually works. Men, you have to get real with yourself and you have to embody that energy. It can't be fake. It has to be real. Because if you don't, anybody that's in a relationship, it is a power game and a power struggle. And they will take power from you and they will conquer you. I don't care how nice she is. I don't care how she started out. Guys come to Thailand and end up experiencing that too. Asian girls just got different game. They're nice up front and cats on the back end. And you have to maintain frame is what they call it in the space. But maintain your testicular fortitude. So get that, get your money right. And with those two things, you are the architect of your own destiny. Life is great. I live in the Garden of Eden. I don't know what nobody else is talking about. Doom and gloom. I don't subscribe to it. It's nothing but upside. So if you come to my channel, it's nothing but optimism. I don't do the doom and gloom. I'm not looking to the decay. I'm happy to be free and living in 2026 and linking up with great people like Jay and Grip anywhere in the world and having this conversation and building with like-minded people. So I greatly appreciate you for having me here. And maybe I might have to give me some racially ambiguous big booty broads because Gripper got me thinking about the good times. Good times.
Look, Sean, are you in AJ's Discord? Please say you're in the Discord. If not, you gotta get in the Discord.
Yeah, I'm getting in the Discord. There we go.
Yeah. Email me and I'll send you the link because we have
a lot of
discussions there. You know what I'm saying? And once again, guys, you can see that I think positivity and just not taking this stuff so seriously. That's why channels like mine, guys, we laugh at this stuff because we're all doing good over here, right? The whole bees and hoes and I don't have time for that. I just kind of laugh it off. And guys, once again, we have a fun space where we can exchange ideas and guys laugh. Once again, we've told everyone, hey, iceberg right ahead, right? So while we were doing that, we built our own nice little boat, our own little version of the Titanic with the jacuzzi and the caviar. And we're doing, hey, if they want to drive their boat into the iceberg, fine, but we're just chilling over here. But you cannot watch my channel and say, oh, well, you're one of those woman hating ball, because for you to hate anyone, they have to have power over you. Guys, I don't hate really anyone or anything. What I say with this red pill thing is I've made my choices in life that's got me to where they are. I want more guys to end up getting to where I am easier and then having the mindset that I have. But guys, once again, you can't save everyone. Guys, you have 3 successful black men here. We can tell you, being black, we can't save everyone. That's for sure. Sean, if you want to come back on at some point, then we could talk about the MGTOW, obviously, guys. But
we could do that.
Yeah, there's one thing that we understand: we can't save everyone. Not everyone wants to be saved. And guys, this red pill space is the exact same way. There are just some guys that just they just live for more negativity. They just live to, it's like, guys, no, you have to, the time that you're spending with that negative energy, you could be winning, saving, investing, working more hours, doing that type of stuff. Check in, come over here, have a good time, obviously, because we're past the whole hate, anger part. So, but cool, Sean, thanks for being here, man. You know, any closing statement or anything?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Shout outs to Grip, shout outs to Jay. And hey, guys, mind your own business. I stole it from Jay. Hey, shout outs to Jay. Mind your own business, man. Man, I'm super excited to be, like I said, around like-minded people. And one of the most important things is building on your life and your destiny. And again, I don't know nothing about California. Don't give a damn. I don't know nothing about the liberals and the left. I don't give a damn. The only thing I care about is building upon my empire, having a great time and enjoying the fruits of my labor. I think a lot of men don't get to do that. That's why we self-delete so much. It's because we don't have respect for ourselves and we don't care about ourselves to the point where we treat ourselves nice. I remember I was talking to a young gentleman. He's a trucker. He changed his life, been able to get his first duplex in 6 months by at least listening to the advice I gave him, was able to increase his annual income by $30K, not changing his job, by actually being able to know what to do with his money when he contributes to his 401k and his tax reductions that came from it. So just like that, nothing changed externally. There was no legislation. There was no new company merger. It was just, he just changed his mindset and he started to get better results in the real world.
He started happening to things instead of waiting for things to happen to him.
Exactly. And what I often say is, and this is big in the Black community, about being a product of your environment. I often tell people, I'm not a product of my environment. I turn the environment into a product. That is a different mindset. The environment does not mold me. Trees, the wind doesn't make who I am. I make the environment that I am in. I build skyscrapers and reusable rockets. So that is the mindset and the man that you want to become. The man that turns the environment into a product, not the other way around. Don't let life happen to you. You happen to it. Leave your mark. Your legacy is in your deed, not a seed. It is in your deed. Nobody remembers Martin Luther King kids. Nobody give a damn about Martin Luther King.
Whoa, hey, hold on. Yo, I never thought about that before. That's so
Nobody
true.
knows, bro. Nobody knows. Who's Gandhi's kids?
He said nobody remembers MLK's kids.
Nobody knows. They're probably normies. They're probably working at the grocery store type stuff. So, you again, the society is going to tell you that's where your legacy is. And no, it's not. It's in your deeds, not your seeds. Lead behind a deed and a mark on this world for yourself and for the rest of the world to remember the night that they played the Titans. Shout outs to everybody on the stream. Much respects.
Hey, thanks, man.
Mind your own business.
I can't follow that.
But hey, Sean, email me about the Discord.
Yes, sir.
And then let's see. Yeah. Because there's a couple of things that we have going on. Because someone's got to start a channel here soon. See, Grip.
As a matter of fact, I do have a question for Sean. Sean, what are your thoughts on precious metals as regards to your overall net worth or in regards to your asset? Do you think precious metals play a part in that or should play a part in it?
I think that, like, if I'm building out a doomsday kit, like, something at the house, right? Like, just in case everything goes haywire, then you saying, hey, I got some precious metals in there. I think that's completely fine. As far as an investment, then when I look at it, for me, and this is me, this is not financial advice for anybody. I say it's overall a good thing once you're investing in anything, right? Because most people are on the sidelines doing nothing.
Yeah.
But when I compare it to other assets, then I'm usually looking more in public securities, which is the stock market, and then followed by that, maybe real estate syndications. I don't like to do real estate in my name anymore because, it comes with risk. But net real estate syndications and public markets. Look, I'll tell you this: from 1926 to 2016, $91 trillion has been created in the public markets.
Yep.
91 trillion. And from that 91 trillion, only 46 companies were responsible for half of it. That's crazy. And so what I say is real estate creates millionaires, but public equities and public stocks create billionaires. I tend to invest on the thing that creates the billionaires, not the millionaires. And that helped me out the most. And so again, I'm not against any other investments. I'm not big on beefing with investments like, oh, it's stupid to do real estate. You need to do stocks. I don't get into that. I think they all have pros and cons. And when you build out a portfolio, it's good to have all of them in your portfolio. So precious metals fall into the portfolio, but at a certain percentage. That, of course, you decide, right? It doesn't make your entire portfolio. It's a part of it. And I think that's a smart thing to do.
Did you ever see the thing? Because what you're talking about is like being in the know about things. Did you ever see the video where it said the difference between what millionaires drive versus what billionaires drive? And this guy, he was jumping out of a Lambo, and this other guy was jumping out of a McLaren. This other guy had a Rolls Royce, and then this billionaire had a 63 Ferrari GTO 250 that's worth $30 million. He drove it. Like he literally said, here, kid. And he tosses the kid the valet keys to a $30 million car. It's like, and people are, oh, that's just an old car. That's a $30 million car. This other guy had an OG Jaguar E-Type. You know what I'm saying? Like the old school one. Perfect. Like it was some race car or whatever, but it's worth like $60 million. Like, so it was so funny thinking that the mindset that people just look at, oh, he's got a Lambo. He must be richer than that old guy that drives that old car. It's like their mindsets are different. You know what I'm saying? Like there's you don't know what that car is because you don't know what that level of money is. You know what I'm saying? Like the average per person doesn't get that old beat up Roadster is an original Shelby Cobra, you know, that's worth 7, 8, 9 million, you know? So
I said something that was very interesting. And as much as I'm a capitalist, I'm like, man, you guys really don't realize how socialist or a lot of companies are now. And I give you what I mean by that. Like, if you work at a small family like business, do they give you equity?
No.
Hell not. Right? It's what they call nepotism. But no, they don't give you no equity. But a lot of corporations do now. Startups. A lot of these businesses give away equity. Like Amazon, you work there. It doesn't matter what level you work. You get equity. And so it's like these companies are giving you an ownership of the company. That's besides your salary. That's besides your 401k plan. They're just giving you it. And so what I say is a lot of time is a lot of people who work, they mismanage that. Like they sell it. They go get a BMW when it could have been worth $2 million if they would have just held it. How many millionaires is going to be created when SpaceX comes out?
Yeah.
Basically, everybody at SpaceX that's an employee will become a millionaire. So capitalism is out there feeding the geese, like actually providing what most people say they want. They just don't know how to play the game. They hate the player instead of learning the game. And so that's what I say. It's important to learn the game versus hating the player. There's too much opportunity out here in this market. And again, I remember in YouTube alone, YouTube paid out $70 billion to content creators for 3 years. $70 billion. It's the largest platform to ever make a huge payout to creators. And watch this, if all creators would have just reinvested that money in Alphabet, they'll be the largest shareholder of Google, period. Imagine that. They'll be larger than BlackRock. They'll have a larger ownership than State Street. Like they would be extremely wealthy. Of course, the content creators do that. Hell no, they spent the money, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm just saying is
on the Lambos and
actually,
the McLarens.
on the Lambos and the McLarens, and you know your aunt Pookie who got a good business, but he just needs some startup capital.
Sean, if I could just interject though, here's the thing, and this is what a lot of women are understanding now, because once again, with feminism that happened, you remember men have always occupied the worst outcomes in society: homeless, junkies, mentally ill, self deletions. And what feminism is it opened up the Pandora's box, and now they're taking these pathways down to these negative outcomes, right? Welcome to being a man. Welcome to our world, right? Society is not going to stop you from making these bad choices. That's what these women don't get. And that's what men who are not listening to what you're saying and Seagate are saying. Society is not going to stop you. If you want to end up homeless or end up in the streets, or whatever, society is not going to help you either way. You have to take it upon yourself to actually find this information and make the decisions to actually be successful. Because society is not going to stop you. It's not from being a bum. It's not. And what people want is they want the government. They think it's government's job to somehow step in and be like, oh, hey, don't make this bad a decision. And that's just ridiculous. It's insane. It's giving government too much power. That's not what government's meant to do in the first place, right? And that's why ultimately you see these women, they vote for more government. Because they wanted the freedom, but they want somehow some guarantee of success or a guaranteed outcome. And they think that more government and more legislation and crazy policies is going to end up making it so that if they make a choice, there's as little risk as possible. And it's just childlike thinking. So yeah.
So the same about women. One of my little isms is that, they want guarantees without risk.
Yep. But yeah, guys, this is a good talk. We'll stick around because I dropped the link for anyone who's coming up. Sean, if you want to stick around, man, you're more than welcome to, man.
I got to go eat breakfast, but I would just answer 2 points. I think Steven asked, Shepard.
Yeah.
And he was asking about real estate syndications. And then that basically is pretty simple. It's like you got LPs, which are like passive investors. Then you got like GPs, which are the active investors. And it's just like a group that comes together and says, hey, we're going to buy this asset, real estate. And it could be many different, multifamily, industrial, whatever. And it's $100 million. Somebody doesn't usually buy that by themselves. It's usually a group of those people. They say, hey, we're going to run it. And then they raise money from the passive investors, and then they get a return on that money. And so you could, an individual will say, hey, I'm going to give you $100,000. What do I get back in return? They'll say, hey, the investment's going to be for 5 years. You're going to get 10%. So that's like $1,000 per month on payouts. And then at the end of it, when we sell it, it's going to be worth 2x. So you'll get back $200,000 plus your distributions. And so that's kind of like real estate syndication. And so it's more indirect. So you don't have to manage it yourself, meaning you up there collecting rents and then dealing with property managers. Like that's just a different way to do it on bigger assets or smaller assets. So that's that. And again, diversification. I know somebody mentioned that. Shout outs to Peter Lynch. He calls it diversification. And so for me, I kind of invest in like Amazon.
Book again, Sean?
Oh yeah, One Up on Wall Street.
Nice.
One Up on Wall Street. But I kind of, with my portfolio, when advisors look at it, they're like, yo, how are you invested in Amazon and diversified? I'm like, well, again, diversification, you're trying to spread yourself in different sectors and industries. But if you look at Amazon has logistics, it has healthcare, it has entertainment, it has cloud computing. Never before was that a thing. Coca-Cola didn't do computing. They just did beverages. And so now these companies are focusing not so much on moats, but ecosystems. And they are in many different industries. Amazon being one of the largest in 10 different industries for one.
Sean, what you're saying?
Shout outs to Doug.
Yo, what's up, my brother? That's why they're so concerned about the Paramount deal.
Oh yeah, the acquisition deal. Yeah.
Because guys, entertainment companies are being bought out by companies like Amazon and Netflix, where they don't have to depend on just the entertainment dollars, movie revenue and show revenue. They have a whole different stream of revenue, and that can literally affect the entire industry. You understand what I'm saying? So that's going to be the future. Is how are you going to be a company that was dependent on one thing, but you get bought up by a company like Amazon that has so many different ways of making money than just one thing. Understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you
And
heard of
Amazon's
the
Go ahead.
Chables, Sean?
No,
I'm sorry.
the who?
It was Warner Brothers and Paramount.
Yeah, Warner Brothers. Yeah, I know what you
everyone
meant.
decided by Warner Brothers. Sorry
So,
about that.
guys,
in Korea, they have what are called the Chaebols. They're 9 families that run.
Oh, yeah, Chaebols. Yeah.
Man, that's one of the.
Yeah, they
I
dump
would
rich.
want to actually sit. Maybe we can kind of dual stream, Sean, on our channels and go into this, because what people don't get was it families like Hyundai and the family that owns Samsung. Guys, they own everything in Korea. Everything. Like, you can be born in like a Hyundai-owned hospital and then die and be buried in a Hyundai-owned burial plot. And it's building this big bubble in Korea. It's crazy. You were saying?
Yeah, I think Korea, they got like, unfortunately for them, unlike our corporations, like, just even look at the CEO. He's not even like born an American. So meaning like you could rise through the ranks and be anybody. But with the South Korea aspect and the Chaebols, it's a family thing.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter your merit. You are not a part of the family, then you're not a part of the empire. And so that's a big problem. Versus our conglomerates, they're more so their merit. You could still be just a regular average Joe.
So that's why Hyundai, hold on. So Hyundai will hear about a new technology. Let's just say Sean and Secret have a new technology. Hyundai will have the power to keep Sean and Secret's company from developing while they'll stifle innovation until they can do it. So they're artificially dominating the economy. Whereas in America, if you come up with a new invention and you patent it, you can make money in the market. But they have such a stranglehold over government and the market that there can be some new medicine that should be making billions in Korea, and they'll be like, well, no, one of the Chaebols doesn't own it or doesn't own it yet. So we're gonna basically cut you off at the knees and then wait till one of the Chaebol families can find a way to own it. So it's creating this massive bubble that they think is going to burst, and then Korea is going to be cooked.
Eh,
And also, I was actually looking at this the other day because, I love car stuff and car history and stuff. Daewoo is a Chaebol that was founded in 1967, and they bought it out in 1999, but they thought that because it was Chaebol that so many measures were taken to prop up Daewoo, but they got $50 billion in debt before they finally went down. $50 billion. Yeah, so there's all sorts of tomfoolery going around to prop these Chaebols up. But Daewoo, 1967 to November of 1999, when it finally went down. Here you go, guys. Fun.
Yeah, so I got to bounce out, man. Got to
All right,
get
buddy.
my breakfast in.
Hey,
thanks
for
for having
here
me.
early
Jay.
morning. What time is it there, Sean? It's early there, right?
It's 6:30.
Hey, I appreciate you, man, guys. Thanks, guys. Everyone, go over to Sean's channel. Thanks, my friend, for all the knowledge.
Hey, and
we'll
Jay,
what's that?
Let's say this. I'll go with you. You're right. Let's just say American men are the most simpiest. Japanese men at least took a better stance. I give you that.
Yeah. I will say, guys, that once again, us, well, not us American men, but men in the West. I mean, guys, the level of simping is so bad that trad-cons, they're religiously backed simps. Like,
right. Yeah. They done made God a simp.
Yeah,
they tripping.
They're supposed to be the most patriarchal men because of religion, and they're simping with the Bible in their hands. So yeah, cool. Thanks, Sean. I appreciate you, bro.
No problem. Peace out.
Have a good one, buddy.
Peace. See you, Doug. See you, Grip.
Take care, brother.
Socialism.
I would say
What's better, capitalism or socialism?
I would say socialism personally. It allows for people to have more say in the government.
Capitalism, because it depends more on what you can achieve and not about what the states want you to do.
Is that an immigrant man saying capitalism?
AJ, did you see? I think it was on Ben Ambassador's channel
how in support of anti the land of the small hats, and then anti-orange man, you have Western liberal women becoming Muslims.
Yeah.
What? Dude. Guys, yeah. I'm gonna have Sean, Seagrip, Doug, and PA, and then I want Marte on the stream, and we're gonna talk about the Black community, guys. Because, like I said, guys, we say this all the time.
I hate niggas. I love Black people. Honest, hardworking, law-abiding Black people. Niggas like you make me sick.
Yeah, guys, Marte actually he debated some white liberal soy boy about Black people. Marte was saying, does Black culture need to be destroyed? Does current Black culture need to be destroyed? And this white guy, no, I think the Black culture right now is just fine.
You've been had. You've been took. You've been hoodwinked. Bamboozled. Led astray. Run amok.
Absolutely insane. Makes me sick. Hilarious. While we do that, here in the next couple weeks, guys, we'll talk about Black people. And guys, once again, if there's anyone who knows that not everyone can be saved, it's any successful Black man. Because we all have knuckleheaded friends and family members. They're just hopeless. Like, we try and talk to them about being successful. Guys, we're speaking Greek. You know what I'm saying? So,
I hate to say this.
Equal distribution.
I hate to say this, but I think that's one of the factors that drove, St. Kevin to an early grave, trying to save B-dubs from themselves.
Yeah. There you go.
Of wealth.
Capitalism requires people to be exploited. Socialism would allow for more people to actually be prosperous.
Capitalism is better. People have opportunity to earn lots of money.
Gee, all the immigrants seem to like capitalism. Funny how that works, right? And guys, here we go. Look,
Capitalism is
Jimmy Carr.
It's better. Capitalism is a terrible system apart from all the fucking others. Bunch of young people seem to have fallen in love with communism again. The fuck is going? Communism's a great idea. Wrong species. Thing about capitalism is it kind of leans into what we are. We're quite self-interested. Works. What's your name?
My name's Sam.
What do you do, Sam?
Define communism for me.
Define communism from each according to their abilities to each according to their needs. Yeah, it just doesn't scale. Everyone is a communist. All of you are communists with your family. If you've got kids, you're a fucking communist at home. Each according to their needs, you take care of them. Of course you do. And as things get white in your local community, you might be a socialist. Try and help everyone out. And then you get up to nation state level and you go, yeah, fuck those guys.
Whoa.
Yeah. You're right. There's always going to be an in-group preference. I'm sorry, but you're human beings, unlucky. The problem with American communism, which is, woke, is better described as American Marxism. And what it is instead of trying to redistribute wealth, which is a perfectly reasonable thing to want to do, they want to redistribute status. And that is a recipe for fucking madness.
There you go.
I owe a...
Yeah.
Because these chicks, they want it. Look, you already got equality of opportunity, but no, they don't want that. They want equality of outcomes. And that just doesn't work.
Yeah. This Thunderhead had a shorter video. Hold on.
Capitalism is essentially slavery with extra steps.
Please.
But what exactly are those extra steps? Let me show you in an easily digestible way on how capitalism ultimately exploits and oppresses the working class.
Because this is a loser mentality. Put a 1. This is lazy losers. Lazy, dunderheaded losers, man.
Just a quick note before I begin that I'm not in any way trying to trivialize or minimize the horrors that have happened under traditional forms of slavery, like chattel slavery. And if you have any issues with how I presented my video, please kindly let me know.
See, and this is why you can't be on the left, because you're always trying to she knows people are going to jump on her about this.
All right, so what is slavery? Slavery is the ownership of another human being. But why would somebody want to own another person? Essentially, they want to own them to use their labor power, okay? Because labor is work. It is time, effort, and energy used to build something or provide a service, which ultimately generates money for you, okay? And here's the thing. There's only so much labor that one individual can do per day. You are limited to 24 hours in a day. So there's only so much.
I can't listen to this idiot, guys. I'm sorry. I was going to try to, because I just can't. You know? And guys, the only reason why she's saying this is because she's a lesbian, right? And she's single, and she knows that women are just as stupid as we do because she dates them. You know what I'm saying? That's basically it. What a joke. What an absolute joke. Hold on. Look at this, guys. Hold on. There was this chick who was talking. Rob, what's up, dude?
Hey, how you doing, AJ?
Good, man. What's up? How you doing?
I just joined in to laugh because, you know, these women who are all about, you know, socialism and stuff, you'll never hear them say the same things when it comes to dating.
Yeah. I can show you guys Mark Rudolph and not get copyright. I probably can, because
I can tell right away when dating a girl if they are going to be an abuser or if they did abuse their last partner, and here are some of the signs of that. The biggest sign to me is the subtle threat that's not actually acted upon, but it is announced. For example, I was in a pretty heated argument with a girl, which I don't even to this day understand what that was about, but I rolled my eyes at something she said because it was just so silly and out of nowhere. And she goes, "Where I'm from, you get smacked for doing that." And I literally looked at her and I said, "That's not normal." The other sign is when that person gets excited in the moments that you're angry, even if you're not angry at them and you're just venting about a situation, and they find that as a turn on. No. I literally said to this girl once, "I feel like you want me to be someone I'm not. I feel like you are excited at the idea of confrontation, and I'm not." Meaning I felt like she was starting fights
Of course, she's driving, right? Right, guys?
purposely because that adrenaline of being in confrontation turned her on. Whereas I have bipolar disorder. So I at all times.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Just thinking, look at the size of her
B-dub. A bipolar B-dub, guys. Oh no. Oh no. If you see this shit, guys.
Run! Go! Get to the chopper!
And I was thinking red flags, that freaking weave and the size of her mouth. Look at the size of her mouth, guys. And she's bipolar. 3 strikes and you're out, dude. Straight up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Try to make sure my emotional levels are mitigated and I don't put too much stress on myself so I don't trigger an episode. And I explain that to almost everyone I talk to in the beginning of dating. I go, I am not the girl who is going to yell or push back or do any of that. I would just leave, number one, because I am also a Libra, so I don't have to deal with that. I'm just going to go. But it felt like she wanted me to be this confrontational person that yells and screams, and that she wanted us to fight. And I was like, no, ma'am, I don't do that. I'm too pretty for that. Those are just a couple examples that I have. If you have any other examples, let me know. But to this day, I have not been in any sort of domestic violence relationship, nor have I ever put my hands on someone. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that
not yet
to say that that is how it should be. No one should be putting your hands on you, and you should not be putting your hands on anyone. So if you even get the tiny bit of inkling that this person could be violent, you got to get out of there. As soon as we had that argument, as soon as she made that comment about smacking me in the face, oh baby, packed my shit up, gone, blocked, don't ever talk to me again. Because that is where I draw the line. If I have to walk around eggshells because I feel like what I'm going to say or do is going to make you hit me because that you think that shit is normal because we're both girls, you don't got to worry about me. You don't got to worry. There's someone out there who will give you that, but it ain't going to be me. So just know that is.
Jesus, guys. Lesbians are cooked. They're cooked.
else you guys should consider, the most violent domestic relationships are lesbian relationships.
I have friends that are lesbians, and I've seen that myself.
Well, actually, that's a really good point you raised, Rachel. My understanding is when you look at not just lesbian relationships, but you compare homosexual versus heterosexual relationships, so including gay men, you have two men, and I assume your position is men violence. You have two men in a relationship. Those relationships, actually, interestingly enough, are the least violent when there's two men in the relationship. Then you have heterosexual relationships in the middle, and then the most violent relationships are when you have two women.
And
how would you explain that?
Well, I can explain it if
yeah.
they don't know. So women, there's a couple things going on. Men growing up have to do rough and tumble play with each other. They play sports, they play contact sports. They very quickly learn how easy it is to hurt somebody, and that they're strong and that they can hurt somebody and that they've got to get that under control. Women don't really experience that as much. So that's one thing. The second thing is, this is actually proof of women being so safe and comfortable with men that they feel totally safe attacking them in domestic situations. The woman is not really scared he's going to do anything back. She knows she's legally probably going to get away with it, and that he really doesn't want to hurt her, and because he could. So women must feel very comfortable attacking men in romantic relationships if the rate is 70% of them, of the aggressors, are women. So I don't know if I buy this narrative that women are just so terrified of men because they're so violent towards us and they're just waiting for any chance to.
That's not what I'm trying. I think everyone should not hate each other.
What else?
Ugh, what a mess. What a mess. But yep. Guys, here. I was gonna go into these two Reddit threads. This one right here, guys, this guy paid off his girlfriend's debt because she's a broke piece of trash. And she's mad at him.
Left him.
No, she's mad because now she doesn't feel independent. So all these idiots are all trying to say, you took away her independence. Her hyper independence is a trauma response. You owe her an apology. Get the fuck.
You've been had. Jesus Christ. Is the lack of debt not the independence? I don't even understand what the hell they're talking about.
Right here, guys. And then this one, the same thing. Like, oh, she was so thankful. She cried in my arms. Look, you showed her she means everything to you. So both guys did the same thing. But based on her response, is he a piece of trash? And this is why, guys, just mind your own business. Men minding their own business. Because you're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. What a joke.
Yo, AJ, you know who don't have a whole bunch of student loans and a whole bunch of credit card debt? That big booty Latina selling pineapples on the side of the road.
It's true. It's true. You know, I tell you guys, just like I was talking to Rob before, guys, Ethiopian chicks are hot. You know what I'm saying? Guys, go to Ethiopia. Go to an Ethiopian community, you know, in the United States, because man, those chicks are hot, you know. And a lot of times they keep their mouths shut and they can cook. So, but do I want to see? Was there a body cam thing that I was gonna show you guys? Yeah, guys, once again, guys, no one's gonna, you have to go out and realize that there's people out there who know more about money than you. And guys, these people are approachable. They're more than willing to share knowledge. You know what I'm saying? You just got to go out there and talk to them. That's it. You know? So, I'm not seeing anything. Hold on, guys. But Rob, how's South Africa, man?
I don't even know where to start. It's just Africa is always chaos. Basically, it's always organized chaos. Is essentially how you describe it. But like any other place, if you've stacked your wealth well enough, you can live in like your own bubble where you can separate from that.
That's good.
And
yeah, Keep going.
And I like how when Sean's like, so my personal opinion when it comes to money is, money just makes you more of what you already are. But
Yeah.
it really does buy you time freedom. And if you can just, and that's something that I could never get some of the women that I dated, where I just couldn't get them to understand that simple concept. But also with what Rob is saying, when you get yourself to a certain point financially, you can isolate yourself from a whole lot of foolishness.
Yeah. I call that what would the Asians do? Instead of what would Jesus do, I would say, what would the Asians do? Because, guys, where I'm from, Asians don't care about politics because they have money. They don't care who's in the White House. They don't care who the governor is. They don't care. Now, it takes a Zoran the moron to actually pass or threaten enough taxes for Asians to leave. But they have so much money that they don't care. If you have money, guys, it's a buffer between you and the BS. But all right, guys, I'm gonna shut this bad boy down. We will be live tomorrow at 5. Guys, thanks all you guys for clicking on my broke video today. It was my first sponsored video, guys. It did really, really well. I appreciate you guys, really, really do. Guys, go over there, give it a couple more views, give it a couple more clicks, guys. But I appreciate you guys, really, really, really do. Once again, guys, I get offered some pretty silly sponsors. You know what I'm saying? But this one actually is a really, really, really good one. So hopefully they keep me on. So, but all right, guys, I appreciate you. Bye, guys.
But
Secret.